On January 26th, Nintendo World Report will be hosting our 9th charity live stream to support Child's Play starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The more you donate, the longer we stream with over 12 hours of content available if we can hit our goal of $4,000. Donations are open now, so don't wait. Donate now so you don't forget. For more information and to donate, click the link in the description. And don't forget to join us here on NWR TV on January 26th for the all-day stream. Alright, now back to the video. Hello and welcome to episode 121 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, the one, the only, Pert Jerkum.
It's me. It's a new year. It's time to rock.
Rock around the clock, baby. And,
yep.
Speaking about rocking around the clock, he was probably a big fan of that show growing up. Mr. Justin Nation.
How old do you think I am? Oh my God. I remotely remember Happy Days, but let's
that long ago, huh?
I didn't even get the. What show are you talking about, Case?
Happy Days. Sunday,
Happy
Monday,
Days.
Happy Day.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came more on the tail end of that toward like Joni Loves Chachi.
See, well, close enough. I was close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember witnessing Fonzie jumping the shark. So yeah.
So you're post shark then? All right.
Yeah.
Not that bad then. Not that bad. Well, we are happy to have Justin here on the show because this is, as I believe we teased last week, our Game of the Year episode. Which
yes, it is.
Yeah, we've got a. We're gonna do our top 5, but then we have a couple of fun. Well, I'd say cool and fun little like mini awards to give out. We got the return of the Jimmies. Which
I think this is the first Jimmies.
Yeah, we might have talked about it last year.
It's the first. Yeah, we talked about it. We didn't do it though. This is the first annual
the inaugural
Jimmies.
Jimmy Awards.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're gonna have some good Jimmies, of course. But before we get into all of that, we are going to be bringing back at least one of my favorite segments of this show.
Oh yes.
We got a jingle, right?
Yeah, we do.
Oh boy, it's Quick Bites, 5-word reviews from Justin Nation. Lightning round.
That's right. It's Quick Bites, 5-word reviews with Justin Nation. Lightning round. I think that's the longest title of any jingle or of any segment.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one though.
Unless you count our email jingle.
Oh yeah. TALKNINT.
Our email is longer. Yep.
But yes.
Anyway, yes. So if people don't know, actually, Justin, why don't you explain what this is?
Oh, it's just I have to like play tons of games. So if I come on to talk about what I played this week, it would take a long time if we really got into it. So the idea is, if I keep it to 5 words as a quick description, we can then sort of, if anybody has any questions, great. If not, we can move on.
Well, the cool thing, and what's really cool, is the way you write these is it's surprisingly like deep and actually like tells you a lot about the game, which I think is what's really cool about it. I think because that's where it kind of came out of from the beginning, is like it's kind of hard to figure out how do I write a review in 5 words.
You need to encapsulate a whole lot.
But then it comes out and it's like, it makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
You have to fill each word with meaning.
He's got years of practice.
Anyway, let's get into the first one.
First, we have Horizon Shift 81. I said surprisingly diverse retro amalgamation shooter.
Amalgamation.
Nailed it.
I think
hold on.
You're pushing it on these syllables here.
I'm an English major.
Seriously.
I mean, come on now.
No, you get a clap for that one.
But it's a shooter, but there's it's got a lot of elements that come from different games. So you've got bits of Asteroid, Space Invaders. It's really hard to describe because it looks exactly like it's coming out of the 80s, very early 80s. So contemporaries like something like Asteroids or any of those. But the play is just keeps changing, and there keeps being new things. It's got a dash, and you can jump and double jump, and there's different power-ups, and it's about the craziest classic arcade shooter I think I've played. So I mean,
oh wow,
looking at
feels
it,
very
some
modern,
screens,
but looks very retro.
Yeah, looking at some screens, it seems like maybe borderline bullet hell at points.
It can feel like that, especially the hard part is the center of the screen. You have sort of a horizon line most of the time, so you'll have things coming at you from the top and the bottom, and you have to manage whether
cool.
you're facing up or down. And the hard part gets to be you'll have things that are firing from both the top and the bottom, and that bullet will go through the horizon line. So it's really sort of a peripheral vision kind of test. Because, bullet hell, you're used to everything coming from one direction at least. But yeah, this you've got things shooting at you from the top and bottom that you're trying to shoot, that are shooting at you. It can get pretty intense. And then, then like I said, you have enemies that will land on the horizon line and will attack you, but you have a dash so that you can bump them off. And you have certain, like, asteroids will crash into the horizon line and it'll temporarily create a hole, sort of like Space Dave or something, where the ground you're on can even be destroyed or damaged, and you'd have to jump over it. So it's pretty crazy. I really, it's one of those. I'd never heard of it. Yeah, I looked at the screenshots. It was like, whatever. Reached out for a code, and then once I started playing, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, this is really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, as I say, looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. So what'd you give it?
I ended up putting it on my top retro game list. It was, I think I gave it an 8 or
a nice healthy
7.5.
score.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely
right.
It's deserving. I gave it an 8. It's
cool.
I mean, and with all indies, it's I'm trying to take into account what the goal was, who the target audience is. So, a mainstream site that's thinking about things from a mainstream perspective, they're probably gonna ding it. They might not be into it, but I mean, I appreciate retro games. It's definitely shooting for that kind of crowd, and in that context, I mean, it's a really good game.
Sweet,
awesome,
sweet.
Well, what's our next one?
The next one also kind of retro-y, but a little bit more modern, Pang Adventures. And I said polished arcade redux, new elements.
Pang Adventures.
Pang.
So good old Pang or Buster Brothers, depending on or Buster
See, I've never
Bros.
played either of these.
Yeah, me either.
The best way to think about it is it's a shooter, but you're only ever shooting straight up, and in the original game, it always started with there would be balls that sort of they large balls would start out and they'd bounce in a certain they have a certain cadence to how they bounce in the distance, and you shoot it breaks into 2 balls, which then you shoot it again, it breaks into another. So it always was about managing the space. You don't want to get too many of the smaller balls going at once, because then it gets really difficult to protect yourself. There were always elements like different weapons, like there was a grapple that you could shoot it and it would connect to the top for a brief amount of time, so you could sort of buy time. There was a double gun, there was a split fire, there were a bunch of different things. The original game, there were some platforms, there would be walls that you could knock out, things like that. And this is it's same base gameplay in a way, definitely very modern looking. It looks great. But then there were never boss fights or bosses in Pang. There are bosses in this, and then there are
they
new
good
elements.
bosses? Like, is it a good addition, or is it one of those sort of like, we added bosses?
No, I like it. It's it's sort of as you go through each of the bosses, each of them sort of gets more complicated than the previous one, where they'll fire off things that are they'll fire balls into the air that you have to deal with, and you're trying to hit a specific spot on. They have tentacles usually, and usually the power-ups and stuff that the boss have some relation to the world or or it's the geographic location that you just completed. So there will be some carryover. So it's sort of the ultimate version of all the things that you've been dealing with up until that point. And then you beat the boss and you get to the next area. But yeah, it's I enjoyed it. But I'm a big fan of Pang. I would say that in that style. Another game came out this year or last year that was in that same style called The Bug Butcher, which I actually
I remember
slightly. I like that slightly more. The Bug Butcher was more arcade, sort of action play. This one, it's more puzzle-like. I would say that there's definitely action, but it's more. You need to plan out what you're doing a little bit more. You have to sort of see the pattern and figure out what you need to do because I was really surprised. There were levels that it's not so much that you die because you got hit, but you'd run out of time because you really have to be aggressive to sort of knock stuff out. You can't just sort of take your time trying to find the right spot to get in the pattern. You really need to be aggressive to finish on time for some of these. But it was good.
I googled Pang, and it came up with an article. Woman 38 arrested for allegedly stealing vegetables at Chongpeng Market.
And give us your 5-second review of that article, Perry.
Yeah, for some reason, well, I didn't read the article, but underneath it, there's 2 articles, other ones, somehow related. It's just called "Why Does It Feel Good to See Someone Fail?" But then I also learned that Pang also means a sudden sharp pain or painful emotion. Did you know that?
You caused me a lot of pang.
Yeah,
Heart
Casey
pangs,
experienced a sharp pang of guilt when he played Sonic.
Yeah.
That's pride leaving the body. It could be worse.
Well,
you could play Crash Bandicoot. It could be worse.
Oh.
Crash Team Racing, baby, right?
Every time I think about Crash Bandicoot, I just think of it PAX with the
that
1 second
super
delay.
lag. Dude, don't sell it short. That was like a 2.5 second lag. I swear, it was horrible.
Yeah, I know. It was
he is the Poochie of the video game world.
Yes, he is.
Except Poochie has some redeeming qualities.
Well, true.
Except Poochie's awesome, man.
I do love Poochie. Yeah. But this is not... That's a terrible comparison. Anyway.
You know what? I've been waiting for Crash to come on sale, like the physical version.
What a Jimbo!
What do you mean, what a Jimbo? I've never played it before.
Oh, you're talking.
When did I ever say Crash?
You're talking smack to some Crash Bandicoot, and then he's gonna buy the physical.
About the just about because right, because Justin's talking about how it's a it was made by people in an office.
Oh yeah.
What is the best thing,
It needs more attitude. Put him outside of the Nintendo headquarters.
You know who always has a lot of attitude? Our leprechauns.
With the transition.
Are you calling me short?
Speaking of leprechauns, we had I guess it's Job, the leprechaun. And I said ultra budget, minimalist platformer, decent.
Okay.
It's a $3 game.
Gotcha.
It was on the Ouya or what? I don't even know how to pronounce that stupid systems. Ouya. It was on that apparently. It's a single developer. It was the first game he'd made. It's very simple looking. But I was actually surprised once you get at first it's very simple, but I'd say once you get about 10, 15 levels in, it starts to show some at least decent level design and some it's at least a little challenging and a little interesting. It is a bit floaty, but I mean it's $3. It's
I love the icon as well.
What would that just reminds me of is and I didn't even think about it, but Magic Cat.
Yeah.
Did you review that?
Oh yeah, I love Magic Cat.
Yeah, that was a great little.
Magic Cat's definitely on another level. It's better.
Okay.
Yeah. Magic Cat's
cool.
better.
Magic Cat's awesome. I was like, whoa, this game's really cool. Okay. Next up, we have I've heard a lot of good things about this Pic-A-Pix Pieces.
Yeah. I said color Picross puzzles assemble art. It's if anybody's played the newer Picross season, I think Picross S2, I think has this as well, where rather than assembling a single piece of digital pixel art, You're working on a piece of a puzzle, and once all these get combined, it turns into a much larger.
It's just a big
And the positive of that is really that I like the fact that it makes the individual slice that you're working on a little bit more challenging because it's not a self-contained piece of art.
Because you don't know what it is.
Yep. So
that's the thigh of a chicken. All I had was chicken thigh in my head. I was like, what else has thighs?
Hungry,
I can't think of
Perry?
anything that has. I am hungry. I know I didn't have time to eat either.
he's thinking ahead to the news that we've got on that one game.
Oh no!
Hey, that's a different Justin Nation segment. Thank you very much.
It might have to be a Perry segment. He's got it on his mind.
That's
I got chicken on my mind. Okay, I don't have thighs on my mind. No, but yes, tell me about. Okay, so this is basically. Is it literally the same thing as Picross? I mean, is it the same?
It's roughly the same experience. Yes.
Okay.
It's not as sexy an interface, but yeah,
Right.
it's the same experience. It is really pretty quick. Works well on touchscreen and in dock mode.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's your thing. You can use the touchscreen, which you can't use on Picross S and S2.
That's so weird.
So yeah, it's not a big deal, honestly, but it is weird. It is weird. What do we have next, though?
It's Catastronauts.
Yeah.
And I said, overcooked in space, prevent disaster.
Oh, okay.
It's like a marriage of, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of FTL. It's not on Switch.
Follow the light,
surprised
right, or something.
Faster than light.
Okay.
Is and it's by the same team that made Into the Breach. Is why I'm sort of surprised it hasn't shown up yet. It's sort of a notoriously brutal roguelike in space that you die very quickly a lot, and because once a fire breaks out, if you don't get a handle on that really quickly, things start going bad, and you're not going to make it. So I'd say Catastronauts is sort of taking elements of that, but then mixing it with the more light sort of fun of Overcooked. But instead of making recipes and things like that to get dishes out, you're up against a alien spaceship that's trying to destroy you, and you have to fire back. So you have to focus on firing the guns, or if you've got if you're on a ship that has torpedoes, there's multiple steps to that, like you'd have in something like Overcooked, but you want to fire those back. But they're shooting at you, and that's causing damage, so you've got to repair damage. Your ship can catch on fire. It gets really bad when they start teleporting bombs onto your ship that you have to you have to get in place to get them. You have to throw them out the. There's a
Sounds
bay
like a
area.
bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
These guys suck.
And like Overcooked in solo, it's a very different game than if you play with more people. Solo, it's really hard.
Yeah, it seems brutal.
I probably don't recommend it for solo.
Does this difficulty scale?
Not really, because it's sort of like Overcooked in that same too. That the nature of the way the game is played changes when you're working even with only one person versus by yourself. You can swap between two different people. But it's almost anything. It's almost like it's more puzzle-like if you're by yourself, because you need to you really need to put your repair kit and your fire extinguisher in a pretty good central place. You have to make sure that your two people don't really get on top of each other. You sort of need to keep them in different areas, because especially when the bombs are coming in, if both your guys are on the other side of the ship, you're screwed. Because once the bomb goes off, it starts a fire, and then So
interesting.
No bouncing back.
with two people, then really even just two people, let alone four, you really can have somebody be more focused on just firing back, because it is one of those things. You can try to save your ship all you like, but you're not going to win until you blow up the other ship. So you really need to prioritize whenever possible firing back or keeping the guns repaired.
Gotcha. And this is from Into the Breach guys?
No. I'm saying Faster Than Light, FTL.
Oh, Faster Than Light. Gotcha.
So yeah. But this really is like a love child of Overcooked and FTL.
Gotcha. Well, this next game I can actually talk about, because I've played it for about 10 minutes.
I was going to say, yeah.
Which is Rain World.
Yep.
This is that game that looks really, really cool, right? That we're talking about.
Yes. I just want to say my 2 cents is I started playing it. It's really, really neat. Great art, great graphics, cool pixel graphics, but with a cool style. But then I played it. I was playing it handheld, and I was just like, I can't play this handheld. It was just too small. Well,
it's pretty small if you play it.
But it's just so small. It's like, I have to play this, and I want to play this on the TV. And then so I haven't played it since. But I will.
That was more than 5 words, Perry.
Well, I'll start
too
with
small,
my 5 words.
play TV instead. All right. So yeah. You do yours.
So what I had was challenging slug cat survival, find shelter, because it is all about you've been separated from your family because of these crazy torrential rain, downpour, floods that will kill you. So between those monsoons, basically you have to get enough food that you can hibernate. You have to keep from getting eaten by the predatory things. You have to find the food, which can be challenging in itself, and catch it. And then, before the next rains come, you really need to find. There's it's like save points. There are only a limited number of them. They're in specific spots. You need to sort of explore and find where these are, and then get to them before the rain starts, so you can hibernate, and then you're safe. It's really pretty hard. It's sort of its own kind of survival game. But you can pick up, and this is where you were saying with handheld mode, you can pick up small objects that you can then throw to try to defend yourself or stun sort of the predators. But yeah, if you were playing in handheld, your odds of seeing any of that stuff are next to 0. Because they're you can grab basically like small rocks, and they're not everywhere. So for you to see them, it would be very tricky in handheld. But yeah, it's an interesting game. Certainly not for everyone. Probably a bit
very
too challenging.
Artsy, right? I mean, it's very it's not so much skill as it is experience as an experience game.
Yeah, it's a trial and error, because as you explore, you need to figure out where the bugs are that you can grab and eat. Because they're not everywhere, and that can be so you can find the spot to hibernate, but you haven't eaten, or you haven't eaten enough, so you're screwed, because unless you've got enough food in your tummy when you go to hibernate,
you're gonna die.
You can't hibernate. Yep.
Is this a roguelite thing? Like, if you die, you start over?
No, you'll go back to the save point.
Okay.
So it's all static. All the map layouts are static.
It was weird because it said like if you, because I went through the first hibernation thing. And then, when I hit, pause, it's like, if you quit after 30 seconds, it counts as a loss or something. And maybe that just means it'll just go back to that day or whatever.
Yeah, I think you just lose all of the progress from the last hibernation. But I don't know. There are different. Well, one thing might have changed since the original. They because I think there was only the one slug cat, one difficulty level in the original game. For the Switch version, there are 3 different ones, including there's a monk that's a little bit. I think they toned it down a bit because of the fact that it's sort of notoriously difficult. Because there's
difficult.
There's the monk. There's the sort of the whitish slug cat that you see in all the promo art, and then there's actually a harder one called the hunter. So yeah, I think they toned down.
Yeah, that's
some
right. I
of
just
it.
picked the normal one, so
yeah. So that might have changed because I played on the monk. It's challenging enough. I don't need to kill myself trying to deal with even more aggravation. But yeah, I can see where some people would really like it, but I think it's a love-hate kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when I started, it's like, man, this is really cool. It's really, really neat. But it's almost like, how many of these am I gonna play? It's just kind of like, there's so many experienced indie platformers that I've played, and so I was just kind of hit with it's just been too much. But anyway, it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It's for sure.
This next game we talked about too.
Yeah. I picked that one up late. Omensight.
Oh yeah.
And I said visually brilliant slasher load times
are great. No.
Yeah, it definitely loads a lot. The spaces that you'll play sometimes are pretty quick, and then there'll be a load time. It's not so bad, but it's just long enough that it kind of takes you out of the rhythm of things.
Just enough to be annoying.
But it's visually it is a beautiful game. And the mechanics and the fighting are pretty good, and you sort of piece together the puzzle of what's happened, and you actually have to redo the same level at least twice in some cases, basically playing it out slightly differently for making a different decision, because then it gives you more information to figure out what really happened, type of thing. It's interesting. I do like it. But yeah, another if you're into that kind of thing, great. If you're not, and that's the kind of thing with all indies, these are not generally games at mainstream level everybody's going to love. You've got to be searching out that kind of experience, and then is it appropriate for you then?
I think you just came up with the slogan to your next segment. If you're into that kind of thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Next up, what do we got?
Oh man, everything.
Oh no!
Well, narrow it down, please. Actually, if that isn't exactly what Justination is always reviewing.
Yeah, everything.
This one I called Bizarre Non-Game Philosophical Journey. It is. I've played some really weird games. Like Abzu was kind of weird in the sense that there was no speech. But you sort of go through it, and it's not really a game. Everything's even less of a game, and definitely kind of weird, because you start out as one playthrough. I started out as an elephant. Another one, the one I have video for, I started out as a bison, and at first I was thinking, is this supposed to be like Katamari, and I'm gonna rumble into things that I'm going to get bigger, but no, it's not like that. But it's really weird, because you can herd some stuff together, but there's really no significance to that. What it really ends up being is you can shift between different species, but then you can shift to things that are smaller and things that are bigger. And it gets to the point that really what you're doing is, you can go all the way down to, parts of cells and stuff like that. But then it does that, and where it's philosophical is then once you go smaller than that, it really then becomes bigger, because then you're at the universe level. And you're seeing galaxies that then you go down to planets, and then, and it would be the same if you went up through. So you can ascend and descend into smaller or greater forms. Oh my
sweet goodness.
But then really that becomes an unlock-a-thon, because have you unlocked an alien planet, a blue planet,
start checking the box off.
Yeah, there's that element of it. But then there will be cues for finding, basically it's like audio of I don't know who the person is that they have audio of, but it espouses philosophy toward these things of what are we and how do we relate to the universe, type of thing. So it's just different. If you watch, I'll have the video up. I think it goes up tomorrow, or well, it'll be up by the time this is posted. You'd have to see the video to sort of grasp how odd it is. It's different. I don't know how else to describe it. It is weird.
Nice. Yeah, it does sound weird. Your 5-word review tells me that I would not like it.
Yeah,
I think that 5-word review pretty, and yeah, that 5-word review. Watch some video. Smoke a blunt. You get the idea.
That's a doobie smoker.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Now, what about this next game? Is this next game a doobie smoker?
No. Hopiko. I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's a weird.
You're too doobed up.
Right. Hopiko, you got it.
Twitchy jump puzzles, frustrating aiming.
So what are you aiming?
Well, it could have been the one element of it. If you're going straight on into something, you can just tap the button. and you'll shoot straight forward into different things. There are platforms that will rotate. There's platforms that are static. There's ones that'll flip. But your goal is just to get to the goal, kind of thing. You start at one point, you have to get to the end. And in the early stages, it's really just tap, 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 and you'll sort of jump through these things. But then you get to the point where you need to aim, and the aiming kind of sucks because you'll point in the direction you want. There will be a reticle that will sort of start highlighting where you're going to land, which is all great. But the mechanism for flying or shooting is letting go of the stick then, and that gets to be just a little wonky, especially when you're on a rotating platform. You're trying to adjust as you try to point to something, and you'll see the reticle. You feel like you're good, but when you release the joystick, it's just a little inaccurate, so you're not going to go where you necessarily thought you did. So combining that with something that has to be quick and accurate, it kind of sucks. And then it punishes you a bit because every set of levels is it's a 5-level group, and if you get to level 4 or 5 and you die, you have to start back at level 1, which really I don't really see the purpose. It's kind of a bummer. Like I've played games like this before. It's okay, but you really have to have a pretty high tolerance for just being annoyed, and it starts feeling very repetitive. I mean, they'll recombine the elements, so it is a little different, but it's just not that different. It's just, I don't know. I'm not all that big a fan. But I'm sure there's some type of gamer out there who could find some enjoyment. But yeah, it seems very geared towards streamers for whatever reason. I guess it's part of that class of games where they seem to be building in streaming. Like this is something that people want to watch. Why, I'm not really sure, but I don't know.
Well, I for sure want to watch this next game because I remember talking about it on the eShop Roundup.
Dynamite Fishing World Tour.
You just dropped the TNT in the barrel, right?
Yep.
And I said content-loaded redneck fishing, simple fun. It is what it is. It's one of those. It's sort of a casual game. My review is going to be posted tomorrow by this, but it'll be. I've already been posted by the time this goes up.
This was good because this is what we did in between PAX interviews. At PAX, we went fishing this way.
Old fishing.
Ice fishing. Dynamite ice fishing. Huh?
Not.
It's a good idea.
Cool? Not in Texas. We won't be ice fishing.
Because then when you explode, you drown, and your whole camp drowns. It's a great idea. Okay. Anyway,
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
But it's an upcycle. The term I use is it's an upcycled mobile game. And it is legitimately not just a mobile port. They did a good job. It looks far better than it did on mobile. There's a ton of content. It controls reasonably well, but it's really geared, I think, for families and just for people who want something to sort of kick around. It's not terribly challenging once you get the hang of it. I mean, there are some boss battle type things. You can play co-op, which is nice. Like I said, I think that's where the gearing for families comes in. But yeah, you could reasonably let younger gamers could probably play this pretty successfully and have some fun unlocking stuff and blowing up stuff. I think the early my early favorite character is actually the little girl character, because when you upgrade her skills, it lets her drop dynamite quicker, and then her special attack is kind of hysterical because a bunch of unicorns start bombarding everything, which is just so it's not to be taken seriously. It's very silly.
I thought this was a very
cute.
serious game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cute. It's cute and fun.
Cool.
Like I said, I could see families enjoying it, or just people that you're watching TV and you just want something to blow up stuff. There's a ton of unlockable content, so it is repetitive though. So
I tell you what, I did not think this would be a content loaded game. So that's interesting to hear.
There's always there's plenty of fish in the sea, Perry.
Well, keep in mind when it says content loaded, you could view that as grind. So because it is the same gameplay, it does get incrementally harder by small amounts, but not really.
Gotcha.
It really just it's a grindy game.
Grindy. Okay.
Yeah. And the next one.
Here's this next one. This is from.
I'm interested to hear.
13 a.m. Right?
13 a.m. Yep. Yeah, and it's
tell
it's
us
a game
about.
that,
You talked about this last time too. Yeah.
I played it at PAX. Double Cross. I said fun grappling platformer, decent variety.
I love me a good grapple platform.
It works really well. It works really well when it's puzzle oriented, and the grapple works really well in those cases. I have found that there are some sections where you're on the run and you need to quickly jump and grapple some things. I'd say the faster you need to try to move with it, the more that mechanic starts to not feel as good. Trying to jump with the one button, direct your running is with the left stick, and then sort of aiming the grapples with the right stick. But the part that gets it in trouble is it's almost like you think about there gets to be a circle around you when you're aiming your grapple, and the right stick will point in the direction that you want the grapple to go in, but the left stick is actually involved for sort of the velocity, or for it's like the fine tuning for the amount that you want to go in that direction. So when you're trying to run in a certain direction and you need to then initiate the grapple, hold down the button to initiate the grapple, you're aiming, and then you have to adjust using the left, which we were just running with, and you have to use that to sort of do something else. There are situations where you need to be running to the right, and then you're going to have to aim and shoot or something to the left. That gets pretty clumsy. So that isn't so great.
Crazy.
I mean, it's doable. I got through those sections, but it isn't ideal. It does feel a bit clunky when you get into those situations.
And what do you think about the art style?
I've heard the complaint that it can look a little Flash graphic-y.
Well, that's like my first.
Definitely gives the first impression big time.
I think as many indies as I play, I've sort of gotten numb to graphical style. Unless it's outright annoying or muddy or things where I can't make out what's going on. I've played so many, between pixel art and all these different things. I think that's part of the reason why I like posting gameplay video of everything. And almost all my reviews, I barely ever talk about the graphics unless it's a problem. Just because, hey, here's the video, here's some screenshots.
The eye of the beholder, as they say, right?
You can choose to judge the graphics in any way you like.
Casey's expressions
are
endless.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So I can definitely understand where that's coming from. It is that sort of ultra clean kind of
just smooth animation,
Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah. But it is pretty varied, and there are some good puzzles. Like I've been pleasantly surprised by that aspect of it. I think it works best when it's using, sort of these action puzzles and things like that. That's where I think it works best, and that is most of what you do.
Yeah, that does sound cool. I mean, because this is like an adventure game, but really with a way bigger
scope.
A bigger. Man, what am I looking at? For the platforming is the bigger part of it.
It's mostly platforming. There's some boss fights, but and like I said,
cool.
Each of the major areas that you go to is different, and then each level within those three major areas have their own. It's sort of like every level there's a new skill or nuance that you have to sort of acquire. So it's pretty good.
And this is from the
people who made Runbow.
Rumbo guys.
Old Rumbo.
13 a.m., right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize it was coming out so soon, but I guess, so. Now, this last game, I remember we talked about it a long time ago on the eShop Roundup when it came to Wii U.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at it and being like, oh my goodness, this game looks so cool. And I was like, why is it coming out on the Wii U? Because I remember the Switch was out then. And now I see it's coming. And I had forgotten it because it has a weird name. But then I saw your review, I think. Is your review up?
Nope, not yet. No, it's embargo's Friday.
Maybe
I
talked
posted
about it.
I posted some pictures of it and just some comments.
That's what it was.
That's my way of cheating on games that I like to throw a bone of I'm not reviewing it and I'm not posting video, but here's some shots and a quick thought.
Yeah. And so this game looks sweet, and it's Hive Jump.
Yes. And I said tough roguelike shooting, varied weaponry. It's pretty hard at the beginning to sort of get used to things. And the first couple of times you go into the Hive, it sucks because you don't really quite know what you're doing, and you don't know what to expect, and so it catches you off guard on a couple different things. But once you accumulate, I think it's goo that you collect is the currency. But as you collect, that was a little weird. But I guess it makes sense if you're in a hive. But as you get different weaponry and start upgrading, and you get different grenades and you get a different core ability, it definitely gets more manageable. I've only gotten to the queen of the major hive and on the easy level, which feels like it's probably the end of the easy campaign. I've only gotten to her twice, and man, she just wrecks you. It gets tough. And the road to get to her gets pretty tough. You have to get through normal hives are three levels deep before you get to a boss. The final hive is 6 levels deep. There's a boss at the 3rd, and then you get to the queen at the 6th. And yeah, that's like a full screen of pain. Just you're getting attacked at all directions, and yeah, it gets tough.
It looks a lot like Metroid.
Yeah, to a degree. Right. Yeah, like robot named Fight would, because it's not as polished. Yeah, so something a little bit pixel arty more so. But I would be fascinated to play this. I think if you can play this with up to 4 people. I think with more people, it would be so cool. Far more interesting.
Yeah, co-op.
It would get chaotic, but especially when you get into the abilities and the weapons and things like that. I think if you had even just 2 people, you could really gear up so that you've got, you have 2 different weapons that have 2 different purposes. You could have different grenades, like you can get poison gas grenades, but there's also a grenade that can heal you. So I think if you had one person that had like the healing grenade and another person that, I think you could really come up with a complementary set of weaponry and gear that you could really help keep each other alive much better, because it's a weird mechanic. You can lose as many of your people are called jumpers. You can lose them, they can die. That's not a big deal. It actually doesn't matter at all, and that's one of the early things that sort of takes getting used to. But when that person dies or disintegrates, or whatever, however they die, there's this backpack that they were wearing that's sort of like the key to the next jumper coming in. So once the backpack is destroyed, you're done. That's the end. But if you can manage not to get hit, or sometimes if I know something tough is coming up and I know I'm in a sort of a lame little area, I'll just outright kill the guy so that I can have the backpack in a safe area where I don't need to worry about getting hit.
Sure.
So I get somebody back at full health right here.
Oh, there you go.
There are doors that you go through, and those can be pretty challenging. It's almost like Guacamelee has these side challenges. If you see a normal doorway, those are sort of these side challenges where you need to you need to do something more technical. Like you need to be able to feather your boost on your jump pretty well in those areas a lot of the time. If you overboost, you're going to hit the spikes that are at the top and they'll kill you instantly.
Oh no.
But the nice thing about those is if you can complete that, you'll get a perk, which is definitely very helpful. Not always but it's definitely roguelike in that sense, because you'll be on the ice world or whatever, and you'll get fire resistance. You're just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, thanks. I'm glad I worked so hard for that. Yeah. I like it. It's like I said, I think it would be fascinating to play with more people.
Yeah. Sounds great. It looks cool. It sounds cool. It sounds like it's up my alley. So I have to get it.
Yeah, then we could play it at PAX. Do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be fun.
What are you waiting for?
And that's it then. That's it. That for Quick Bites 5-word reviews with Justin Nation lightning round.
Oh boy, it's Quick Bites 5-word reviews from Justin Nation.
Lightning round.
Yeah, that was lightning.
I would say, yeah.
That was
not quite a lightning
40-minute
round,
lightning round.
but
a thunder round.
A nice rolling thunder round.
Don't you love when you see a nice flash of lightning and then like 7 seconds later you hear the roar of the thunder? I love a good thunder roar. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about 50 other games.
Seriously, though, probably.
And we're back with that eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. eHaw.
Which it's a light week again.
I was just going to say we
light.
determined. Yeah, during the break, we're doing the old count up, and Perry tells me, Casey, another light week. Only 20
I was actually
games.
legitimately excited about 20 games.
I know, it's insane. It is insane. But
remember, there was one eShop I'll never forget. There was 2 games on 3DS and Wii U combined. There's only 2 games that came out. Amazing.
Man.
Now, those are the days.
Yeah, those were the days.
Now, we have Justin here with us, which means that he can tell us probably about every single one of these.
He's going to keep the 5-word reviews going through the eShop Roundup.
Anyway, we're going to start off, though, with Dreamwalker for $4.99 from Code Mystics. This is a very trippy-looking, funny game. It's the maze of Dreamland. Hey, they can't have Dreamland.
Yeah. Copyright.
Yeah. It's action puzzle. So there's 50 unique action puzzle levels. Hours of family-friendly play.
Moving right along here, as we don't want Justin to fall asleep before we do Game of the Year stuff. We've got Gnome's Garden 2 for $4.99. Perry the Wicked, Queen of the Trolls, has returned from banishment.
Oh no! With
the way the art looked, I thought it was a golf game.
Yeah, dude, I was just gonna say, I was like, I saw the first picture and she's holding like the flag, and then the next one, I was like, oh, are those bunkers and fairways?
Yeah.
No,
nope.
Too bad. That might have made this a little more interesting.
Opportunity missed. Yeah.
Look at those gnomes, or are they goblins hiding behind the bushes?
Hubbub goblins.
Anyway, next up, that's $4.99. What do we have next, Justin?
We have Mentori Puzzle.
It's for the Jimmy. Hey, we got another Jimmy price.
Speaking of the Jimmies,
even. What the heck?
$8 even.
The Jimmy price, baby.
Why?
Well, they knew that we're giving away some Jimmies today, so they were trying to get their hat in the ring.
So this is looks like one of the screenshot, or no, 2 of them seem to show what this game is, which it's just like a drop-down puzzle game.
Match 3 of some sort, maybe.
Looks kind of Puyo-Puyo-y.
It doesn't look bad,
Dr.
actually, at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute. The aesthetic is kind of cute looking, and all these little chibi birds and stuff.
What did you just say to me?
It doesn't look bad. Chibi birds.
You're sick. Moving along, though, we've got animated jigsaws. Wild Animals for $9.99. Have you guys ever wanted to just put a puzzle together on the go, but then you had problems because you were losing pieces on the bus and stuff? It's not a problem anymore.
I thought that you were reading from their press release just now. I was like, are you kidding me?
That would have been perfect.
Have you guys ever...
Actually,
have you guys ever wanted to... What?
I was going to say, I played the one version of this. This is just another pack. I played the one that was Japan or something like that. It's not bad.
It's just a bunch of puzzles.
Well, but like in some of the cases, the stuff is moving, which made it a little weird because it was like a video.
Oh, that is actually kind of cool.
That's why it's animated jigsaws, I think, is. But I don't think all of them move. But it's definitely makes it. So they're like different.
The pieces are moving.
the video on the video behind the piece is moving. So as you're assembling
that's what I mean. Yeah,
you can get clued in by the motion of the video.
Oh, that is actually kind of a cool idea. Also, like I have a bunch of friends that like their family loves to do puzzles, and so it's like you think about it, you get this on the TV, and everyone has one of the little Joy-Cons, which they show
that
up
would
to
be
4 players.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's an easy.
and then somebody can be the
actually.
bastard and take the last piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I finished the puzzle.
True experience. Yep.
Exactly.
You
there
guys
should be
all
one piece
stink.
missing. Next up, though, we have Job the Leprechaun, which you talked about before, and now I get to see it because I didn't actually see it while you were talking. It's a cute little. Oh, it's a little pixely. I didn't realize it was so pixely.
Yeah, it's definitely old school looking.
Yep. $2.99.
Good old Job.
From Herrero. But Johnny Turbo's back in town.
He back.
Baby.
And he's bringing the fighter's history with him.
Fighter's history.
For $7.99.
Wow. This
Samche versus Ray.
I think I remember this. I'm amazed how shamelessly this is ripping off Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Look, they're fighting out in front of the bookstore, those dirty dogs.
Yeah. Look at the ducks behind him on that first in the lake. Anyway, oh yeah, you can see the ducks have their heads up, and then the next screenshot, the guy's jumping, and then you can see him fishing.
He's fishing.
Anyway, next up, it's a week. It's a week. It's Neo Geo is in town. Arcade Archives. There's no other arcade games, just the Neo Geo this week. But we have $7.99 for $7.99 Ragnagard.
And another fighting game. I could have guessed.
It's a very interesting looking game.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to use photo
Yeah.
realism.
Yes, it does look like that. It doesn't look like other Neo Geo games.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks sort of bad.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
it's got like that Pit Fighter kind of. I don't know if you guys are that old that you remember Pit Fighter. It's a nicer version, but yeah, there's like the jaggy edges and stuff that you get.
Yeah. This game, I'm gonna say it. This game doesn't look that good.
Which
and
is
I don't think
weird.
I've ever said that about a Neo Geo
Yeah, I was
game.
gonna say for Neo Geo, it's like usually it's like wow, another fighting game, but man, it looks good.
Yeah. But what do we have next, Case?
Next up, we've got Pang Adventures, a game we just talked about not too long ago.
Featuring Red and Blue from Pokemon.
Yep, for $9.99. You got to buy 2 versions to play each character, though. Yes, yeah, we talked about this game. Sweet.
Yeah, it's very cartoonish. What do we have next, Justin?
It's The Aquatic Adventure of the Last Human, which is actually a game I reviewed already. I
you don't say.
Well, yeah, and this is $12.99 and it's 30% off right now for $9.09. Anyway, continue.
It's pretty tough. It's really, you don't have anything that resembles combat except for boss fights, and one of them against a huge worm is like one of the first things you do in the game, which is really kind of disorienting because you really don't get any, you don't really understand much yet. You just got the torpedo or the harpoon that you can fire, and it's like, hey, here's this giant worm that's going to attack you, and learn how to do it. Get good. Come on.
This game looks sweet. The graphics are incredible.
Yeah, it's got some good pixel art. It is a lot of wandering around. It doesn't, you do have a mini map, but it's just like any Metroidvania. You need to have the chainsaw to get through the seaweed. You need to you need to have a light so you can go in the dark areas. And it doesn't really. It's open ended, so you can go anywhere, and you just have to sort of be disappointed. Oh, well, there's another spot I can't go. I got to remember it.
Gotcha.
That's kind of a bummer.
Not my kind of cup of tea there.
Yeah. But it's not bad.
Cool. Well, this next game is something that's my cup of tea, which is Pic-A-Pix Pieces, another game we talked about before. Sudoku with colors, and it has the thing where you make the image. It shows a tiger here. So there's an image where you're making the arm of a tiger. So that's nice. But we can just move on, I think.
That's a nice thing about having Justin on. Half the games during the eShop we've already talked about, so it's like we just brush on over.
Yeah.
Next up here, we've got Don't Sink for $9.99, a sandbox adventure pirate RPG. You're going to capture islands, you're going to sink ships, you're going to defend your town, and you're going to discover an exciting world full of adventure, Perry.
It looks pretty cute.
That's really overselling what it is. Like, it's another one that didn't make my list. Man. Did you guys... All right, being old... Did you guys ever play Sid Meier's Pirates? Have you ever heard of Sid Meier's Pirates?
Hey, I've heard of Sid Meier's.
Okay. So if you make a pirate game, I'm going to immediately compare you to Sid Meier's Pirates, which is a game that's now over 25 or 30 years old.
All right.
This doesn't even hold Sid Meier's Pirates jockstrap. So it's just like it's the game that is that old
You're
is
a pervert.
the game that's that old is whooping your butt. It's just, there are quests and you can move around and it's just, there's so little to it. The ship-to-ship combat is pretty much non-existent. Yes, you'll be attacked by a ship. Yes, you can fire back. It doesn't explain the difference between what the grape shot does versus the bombs versus the cannonballs. The mechanics behind it, you don't really aim. You just sort of initiate an action, and and there's a delay, and you wait. Or you can try to take the other person's ship, and then you'll have a sword fight against the other captain. But the interface for that isn't well explained, and the control is kind of muddy, and you win almost every time unless you just don't have any crew left.
Oh, so it sounds like a good game for Perry.
It's just, it's...
He's a winner every time.
It's just kind of sad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, kind of sad. So the 5-word review...
So it should just be Sink, huh?
Yeah.
Sid Meier's Pirates, still better.
Kind of sad. Still better. Yeah, still better. All right, and next up, would you look at that? It's another game that Justin Nation reviewed that we talked about before. Catastronauts for $16.99, which you said, yeah, definitely looks like Overcooked in space for sure. Yeah, this looks great though. Yeah, looks fun. But next up, Case, what do we have?
JCB Pioneer Mars for $24.99. Real weird name.
Okay.
They don't really ultra rugged JCB vehicles designed specifically for the challenge. I guess.
See a Mars excavator.
Yeah, I guess maybe you're driving around. I mean, if you're into space, fun. I mean, like the spacesuit looks pretty cool. Yeah,
it does.
And
more bad news.
Oh no! bring us back to Earth. Bring us back to Earth. Come on.
Another game I played that didn't make the cut.
More bad news.
It's the physics are super wonky. I never imagined that driving on the surface of Mars in my buggy would feel like I'm trying to drive on ice. Like. It's the
weird,
physics. The physics are ultra weird, and you do a lot of exploring.
Well, he is pioneering Mars.
Yeah, it's a lot of empty
credit here.
There's a lot of empty space.
Yeah,
and it doesn't explain itself well. It's for the price, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it's $24.99, so that's a pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty premium price on the old.
For some
eShop.
reason, if this seems like one of those $39.99 games that you find that is somehow retail.
Yeah, I hope they don't bring that to retail. That it's going to be in the bargain bin because it is.
And Perry will be like, "Ooh, $5! I'll buy all 7."
Dude, I totally would, man. $5? You know you would too, you Jimbot. Next up, though, we got Brick Breaker, which I didn't think that could be a name of a game in this day and age, but we do. And it's
pronounced
$9.99.
Breaker.
Yeah, and this looks like Arkanoid,
yeah.
Which is what you'd think. Oh man, what a great game Arkanoid was. I like brick breaking games. Justin, what's your verdict?
No, I'm interested. Big Ben Interactive, they're the ones that made the Aquamoto Racing and the Snowmoto Racing games. So yeah, I might have to get in touch with them. I like the Brick Breaker stuff. Which
is exactly those games that are retail or something like that, or maybe not. No, I think those aren't those like the jet ski games and the.
Yeah, I don't know if they came out on retail. They came. I reviewed them when they went out to the European eShop, and then they didn't come to the US for a couple of months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I just thinking, does Nintendo have a Brick Breaker franchise?
Not that I know of.
I don't think they do, which is kind of weird. I feel like, like Dr. Mario is kind of like their puzzle. I could see them having some. Is this Waluigi's chance?
He can finally.
Waluigi's Brick Breaker.
He's finally in. Yeah.
That actually sounds odd. Yeah, this game, it does look. It's very neon-y, very cool looking. It looks fun. I like brick breaking.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up, if this isn't the most Casey Gibbons game I've ever seen.
Cornucopia?
Cornucopia.
For $4.99.
Unicornucopia. No, it's Unicornucopia.
Oh my.
That's what I said.
7
Yikes.
syllables.
Okay,
Yep.
this definitely looks for the little tykes.
No. Yeah.
Well, Perry's got this one
this does-
downloading as we
You know what
speak.
this is? This is one of those games that when you visit friends and they have their kid that is always on their phone, on their parents' phone. They're like their 2-year-old, and it's like they're just like sucked into their phone and they're tapping stuff.
They're just playing.
This is the game they're playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't even say it now.
Yeah, this is definitely for the little one.
Alone in the forest, a unicorn wakes, searching for its herd as a new dawn breaks.
Ooh, all right.
It rhymes. Where are my friends? Not to the west. To them I must set out on a quest.
Oh God. Okay, aimed at younger audiences. Yes, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here we go. We have another game that is from Big Ben that looks like it's made from the same thing. Tetraminos. It's Tetris.
Yeah, that's.
Is it Tetris?
It looks like it.
It looks like. Well, no, because it has pieces that it has some funky pieces.
It's got
that
like
looks
D-pad buttons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah,
well, it doesn't look bad. You got multiplayer.
You've got Puyo Puyo Tetris and stuff on the system, man. That is.
Yeah, but this is $9.99.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think you should review it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm surprised you
Might
haven't.
as well if you're asking for Brick Breaker.
Playing a second-rate Tetris clone, just I don't know.
Now, what if I told you that there was a high-end action RPG that offers superb graphics, incredible sound and music, and responsive combat controls for the low sum of $7.99?
I'd call you a liar.
Well, I'm not lying, because we have Animus.
I don't believe you.
And it looks just like Dark Souls.
Or Sinner, and Sinner was bad.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah. But this game, yeah, it just looks like a big field with a bunch of big, huge enemies and some scary-looking female things.
And stuff that looked like the Pyramid Head, except smaller Pyramid Heads.
Little baby heads.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, $7.99. It looks cool, I guess. I figure it's probably not that good. It just looks like, you know what I mean. If it's $8, maybe not though. Maybe not.
Never
but this next game
judge
has a
a
cute
book
little
by
art
its
style.
price, Perry.
This is a Destination type game.
This next one here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I played Rock Boshers, Mad Age, and this guy. It looks a lot like Rock Boshers, except not as old schooly.
Dude, this game looks awesome.
The
style is really, really neat.
I think I was so bummed out by just Rock Boshers felt so tedious that this looks like I think it's shooting for Bomberman based on its description, so maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
and look at the layout.
Bomb Slinger, maybe a little more Bomb Slinger to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and $4.99, nice price.
Yeah.
Dude, this game looks awesome. Yeah. Heck yeah. Anyway, Mad Age and this guy. That's a weird name. Now, this from Enjoy Up Games, we have our second to last game here. 99 seconds for $2.99.
Ooh.
It should have just been 99 cents, right?
I mean,
Why did they do that?
I'm sure they'd like to make some money off it, though.
I guess.
Looks like it's
but-
shooting for the same kind of visually. It looks like it's shooting for just shapes and beats.
Mm-hmm. But not as good.
Yeah.
But instead, little random floating
It's like just
people.
shapes and beats with a little meme run.
Yeah, a hint of meme.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a after 99 bullets. So this is the sequel. Now your problem isn't the number of bullets, rather the amount of time. Which there you go.
All right, last game, Perry.
Last game. This is a retail game that I just saw. Wait, this is from Nintendo?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I was surprised by that today. Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw it today.
What?
Yeah, you guys been living under a rock?
What are you talking about? When have we ever talked about this game once?
I mean, maybe not in the podcast, but in Slack and stuff, they've been talking about this game.
What?
I mean, not a lot, but it was like one of those weird, like, oh, that's weird. Nintendo's releasing fitness boxing for $49.99, and
this is so
weird. And it dropped like the other day too, like randomly.
Yeah, I saw this at. This is what's so funny. I went to GameStop Friday. The other day, and I saw at GameStop if people don't go to GameStop. And they usually go like to Best Buy or Target or something, like to buy Switch games or something. You go to GameStop and they have like 1 billion games that we've talked about that I had no idea were retail. And it's like really weird. And this was one of them. But I guess this is from Nintendo.
Well,
yep,
the
old
main
Nintendo
graphic looks like the Wii Fit trainer, so they make some.
Well,
some
yeah,
sense.
but it's I guess it's weird, man. But who developed this game? Nintendo.
Maybe this was oh shoot, maybe this is Retro's the game.
Oh no.
What's Retro been working on? Hey, fitness boxing.
Crazy.
Could you imagine that?
But you can it's boxing and to a rhythm. Is that what it is or no? Or
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
just and probably a lot of just like moving around like stepping around and punching, and
it has daily
cardio.
training ranges and stuff.
No, it looks. I mean,
not a bad idea.
If you're into that kind of thing, no, it's cool.
You can do you can train with somebody else, and you can you can try to go the distance against each other. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's trying. It was interesting.
You know what I would like? A Wii Fit game for the Switch. That would be awesome.
I think the balance board's really
died.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I don't think you can. Honestly, I think something with that same style, but just usually like using the Joy-Cons now for kind of everything. I don't know. You know what I mean? It'd have to change. It'd have to be probably more something like this. But I like the style of Wii Fit. And the games you could do with that. So
yeah, Wii Fit was cute.
I love Wii Fit. But that's going to do it for the eShop Roundup. We got our 20 games in. That's amazing. Which, if it's done with the eShop Roundup, then that means that it's time for...
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Yes, sir. And there's not a whole lot of News Talk, but...
Well, a lot of it just dropped.
Yeah, we've got some bits here. Why don't you take the first one? I know you've been excited about this.
Are you laughing at my pun?
Yeah, with the upcoming news. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Like I said, you're gonna own that segment, man.
Anyway, let's get the news out of the way here. First up, we have Super Rare Games. They announced their I think their 10th release, like one of those. But I should have written that down. But the Adventure Pals, which Justin, did you review that?
Yeah, it was one of my top 100 of last year. Yeah. Well, when I played almost 500 games.
I was going to say, is it in the top or the bottom 50?
It's somewhere in the middle. I mean, I put it under family games because
that's not bad.
It's a really positive, peppy, kind of silly. It looks like something out of Cartoon Network. Looks, inspiration from Adventure Time kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not terribly hard,
stuff.
but it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
You can play the whole thing local co-op. You can jump in, jump out, which is really cool. But then this next one just came out of nowhere today, and I don't know anything about it.
I don't either.
What this game is.
I've heard the name though.
Dragon's Dogma, and that is coming from Capcom. Yeah. Now I haven't.
It's like we just heard from PAX, right? We weren't going to have anything.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it's like everyone the swirlings of a Nintendo Direct, and then when this news came out, I saw people like, well, there goes that, But who knows? Yeah, I guess I'm looking at it real quick. It's a hack and slash adventure RPG. Maybe, I mean, definitely not like necessarily akin to like Diablo, but
I was thinking, yeah.
But hack and slash,
like
I do like the sound of hack and slash. I'm gonna have to check this out because I have heard good things. It was originally released in 2012, so it is a sort of an old game, but I don't know. Apparently, I saw it seemed like a lot of people are pretty pumped about it.
Well, I think if nothing else, just it's Capcom, and Capcom giving some love opens the door, hopefully, to other things. No matter what, I think a third, major publisher like that, people are excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I love Capcom. They're good folk. Now
they're good folk.
So speaking of chicken thighs, which I'm texting Jill right now about supper because I'm so hungry.
I thought it was a guilty text. No, if you hear the podcast,
yeah, if you hear us talking about Panty Party, it's not what it seems.
I got a pang of guilt, so I sent Jill a text. No, a new game has been announced, and I don't want to announce it. I don't want to even announce it. Justin's here to announce it.
Oh, okay.
He's mature enough.
Well, and since I've played some of the other games in that, I don't even know if it's a genre.
That realm.
The pervert realm.
Yeah, yes.
With Justin Nation. That's your jingle name.
The pervert realm with Justin Nation.
But it's a panty party. Which seems like it's a reverse version, based on the description, a reverse version of Gal Panic, which was also interesting. Yeah.
So what do you mean by reverse version?
Well, what was the description you gave, Casey? You said that it had...
Oh, well, it's like you play as a sentient pair of panties, apparently, and you go around just, like, taking out stuff. But like it looks like... It's like... I don't know if the panties themselves have like some sort of gun...
Stuff out to dinner?
Yeah,
or?
no, like taking them down.
That is just disturbing.
Well, down to dinner, no. Yeah, I don't know. It looks very weird. It looks very weird.
But this is coming to America? I mean, because this is like would be the norm for like Japan.
I'm pretty sure it was announced in Japan, but that means you could download it on the eShop, right?
Yeah, and I don't think
region
it could
free,
get,
baby.
I don't think it could get much weirder than Senran Kagura. I mean, that was just... Wow, yeah. Reflections, that was it. I'm fascinated to finally, since I'm not having to pay to get these games, because I'd be put on a watch list or something.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, you're on a list, don't worry.
But it is fascinating, and I think it's funny, or at least I think it's funny for somebody in my perspective. This is so not my realm, so not games that I've ever seen or played, to try to find something objectively good about the gameplay. Now, Senran Kagura, there's nothing. It is just weird and gross.
Yeah.
But at least, like, at least Gal, what was it? Not Galgun. At least Galgun, sort of like a rail shooter. Like there was an attempt to make it a game. It was still weird and pervy, and you go into girls' showers and stuff.
I'll never forget at PAX when I went to go do Dragon Mark for Death. And they're like, we have Galgun here too. Would you like to check that out? And I'm like,
not with other people watching.
Not with my wife here, but I still don't even like want to.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, so Panty Party. So Justin, next time we're on, Justin will have a review.
Well, he's like, that's in my top 100 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Funny, I don't have a dedicated like weirdo kind of category that
you really should though.
No,
you should have
really.
Weirdo category.
people looking for that experience tend to seek them out. You don't really have to tell them. So yeah.
Anyway, we can get back to normal because Yoshi is back.
Woo-wee!
And we can all set off together when Yoshi's Crafted World launches exclusively for the Nintendo Switch on March 39th.
What?
Whoa.
March 39th.
The 39th?
I mean, the 29th, sorry.
I thought you were joking around.
No, I wasn't actually. I read 329, so I was just thinking like 39.
Oh, that's amazing.
No, on the 29th.
He's got thighs. He's got thighs
on a
his
real
mind.
date.
Yeah, he's got.
Chicken thighs. Hey, wait, real quick. Favorite part of the chicken?
The thigh?
No, wings. Wings with some sauce. Yeah.
Wings are amazing. I did leg though. I think I'm still a leg guy.
The mini drum.
Rump?
Yeah.
I'm definitely a dark meat, like versus white meat. But the thing is the white meat on the wing is way better than the white meat on the breast. Like it's always dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the wings are always really good. Yeah, I like that for sure. Anyway, Yoshi's Crafted World is coming in March, a couple months.
Man,
What do you guys think?
it's
The 39th.
it's just so funny, man. Like, whoo! They're releasing them Switch games late. I mean, them 3DS games late.
No, this is on the Switch.
Oh, geez, I'm an idiot. That's exciting.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Well, the next game though is so.
Well, yeah. Have they released that? Oh God, I guess they probably did it.
See, because you're getting Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World mixed together, which is about right because they're the same game, and I don't know who decided they should make another one of these. I mean, it looks really cool and neat, but
I'm excited
like
for it.
it's the same thing. I mean,
it's going to be one of those games we absolutely both play and we probably both really enjoy. But yeah, it's just like there's nothing super de-duper like exciting about it in the sense
just
like
not a fan of Yoshi's gameplay, dude. I was actually I was talking today to my friend and we were talking about the baby Mario.
Yeah.
Like how everyone kind of said, I love the original Yoshi's Island, but the baby Mario got really annoying. And I understand what they're saying, like, the sound it makes and stuff. But then I think what a crucial part to Yoshi's gameplay that is like, it's huge. Like you're carrying the baby, you get hit, and then you have to go catch it, and then your time goes down. I mean, and they took that away for Yoshi's Woolly World, and I was just thinking, I don't think I like that they took that away. Like, I think that it changes the dynamic and makes it kind of just way more boring if you're going for the collectathon stuff. But anyway, Justin, you probably didn't play Woolly World, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, anymore. I mean,
I don't have time for
I bought Smash. I've probably played 2 hours of Smash. It's just finding time is just a challenge.
You know what my Smash routine is? Boot it up, play try to get a spirit, don't get it. A new character's appearing.
Don't get it.
Try to get that character. Don't get it. Turn off the Switch.
I hate this.
Because I have like 10 minutes. I could play. I could get a spirit. Oh, I could get a character. No. All right. But anyway, I want to learn more about Yoshi's Crafted World. I hope we hear about that in a direct that's coming soon.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, maybe there is no direct. You'd think they would have just
save that for the direct.
Unless if the direct is so bumping.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even have time for this crap.
Yeah. Well, what do we have next?
I think that's it.
Well,
kidding.
I did some late breaking.
Maybe you can't read the 2 more things we have.
We've got 2 more things we have. 2 classic adventures arrive on the NES.
Okay.
What?
The 3DS doesn't exist. Yeah, the 3DS. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn is coming out on the March 8th. Okay, on 3DS. Next up, though.
I thought you were talking about the 2 NES games we have here for the Switch Online.
No, we have 2 more articles, and you skipped one.
Well,
anyway,
I'm gonna go with the one that's.
It's okay. I said March 39th.
Yeah,
we can both be embarrassed.
We're giving a couple of Jimmies out to ourselves this year.
It's okay. I said 39th. Justin's a perv. We can all be embarrassed.
Yeah, we all have flaws. First up, we've got Zelda 2. The Adventure of Link is coming, as well as what I would say is more exciting personally.
Oh, yeah.
Blaster Master, baby.
Heck yeah. Yes.
Boom.
I love Blaster Master. I can't wait to play it. That was one of the games that I thought about. Like, I hope that that's coming out. And that is really cool because that's kind of outside the Nintendo spectrum, you know? So here's hoping for, you know that game.
Contra?
No, the grapple game.
Oh, Bionic Commando.
Bionic Commando.
Oh, you'd be happy with that,
Please. I've never played the NES version. Anyway, yeah. So that's cool, man. It's panic or perish as you blast through an endless maze of tunnels. It's cool to have Blaster Master and Blaster Master Zero. When are they gonna make a sequel to Zero? For Pete's sake.
What would it be?
I thought they'd have one out so fast. Exactly. I don't know. You have to call it Blaster Master 1.
Yeah, it's Blaster Master -1. You have to keep.
Just start climbing down.
You know what though? I mean, honestly, I bet they just call it Blaster Master 0 too. I think that's because it's 0. It's not like it's not Blaster, a number 0.
It's Blaster Master Oxygen.
Ooh. There you go. Now, I believe that means we're done with the news, which means that we're finally getting into our Game of the Year talk. And so last year we had, I think we did our top 20 games?
No. There's no way.
Yeah, we did.
Top 20
or top
20
10,
seems
maybe.
A little too crazy.
Maybe we did top 15 or top 10. Maybe not. Maybe I did top 20.
I was going to say there would have been a bunch of
so
games,
hard.
but I don't
remember how awesome last year was though. Oh my goodness, what a great year it was for first party and third party and
2017 was something.
Anyway, now 2018 was also something. It was very different. And I know for sure my list is going to look a lot different than
I think we all probably have some nice diverse lists here, I think.
But Casey, why don't you go through what our awards are going to be this year?
All right. So, this year we're going to have our top 5 games of the year. Obviously, we're going to do sort of a round table where it goes. Well, actually, I did want to ask, do we want to go like everyone gives their I think that's the best way because like you said, if this was a 2015 and we're talking Wii U games, they'd probably be very similar. But like you said, we'll have a nice diversity here. So I think we should save that for the very end. Is the Game of the Year top 5, right? Or
yes. Yep.
So here are the other categories we have lined up for here. We're going to do the Jimmies, as we mentioned before, and the way we're each going to...
There's 3 Jimmies.
Yep, 3 Jimmies awards. Worst game icon, biggest disappointment. And what we're going to do is we're each going to nominate a game, and then we're just going to have a short discussion to pick who gets the Jimmy. And
luckily we have Justin here.
Yep.
He
tiebreaker.
Yeah, the tiebreaker.
Great judge.
Unless we all vote. No, Mon deserves the Jimmy the most. But then there is a category where we each pick a game from a genre that is like ours, quote unquote. So I'll be doing best RPG. Perry will be doing best platformer, and Justin, as you could guess, is doing the best Nindie. Then we've got best art direction and surprise of the year, a game that came out of nowhere and really knocked your socks off.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, let's get started then with, I guess, should we do the Jimmies first?
Yeah, let's kick it off with the gyms.
Yeah, then we can get all the and by the way, everyone, this is just for fun. So like we're not a bunch of haters.
Oh no.
We're a bunch of lovers.
You get a Jimmy, you're in trouble. You don't want the Jimmy.
Yeah, you don't want the Jimmy. It's like a disease.
Oh no.
Okay, so the first one, worst game. Now, Justin, I would love to hear what the worst game you played is.
Though there have been some pretty bad ones, but I think the worst one that I went with it was called Deep Ones. And if we had a Jimmy for a worst publisher, it would be from there's a winner hands down. Nobody could beat them. Sometimes they just release some really garbage stuff. But yeah, Deep Ones didn't look good, didn't play good. Sort of nonsensical, not fun, not just it was one of those that I struggled to even identify who it was for. It couldn't. Yeah, no real redeeming qualities at all, other than the fact that it had a demo, so people could find out. They could find out how bad it was and save money.
At least there was a demo.
That's good. Yeah. Casey, what about you?
All right, my worst game of the year. Now, I was pretty much what I did. I like went through every single article that we did for Talk Nintendo to pull all the games I played, and just looked at all those games. So of the games, now this might not necessarily be the worst game in the sense like it's like it doesn't work or anything, but like this is the game when I was going through that list and I was just like, ugh. You know what I mean? And that
did you make that sound?
Like, oh yeah, I was going through. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, oh that game.
I think I did too.
That game was fun. Oh, that game was all right. Ugh. I remember that week, and that was Ascension. So
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, this game.
But it didn't. The thing, didn't you review that?
Yeah. No, like,
and it didn't seem like you were like, yeah, you didn't like.
Like I said, it's not the worst. Like, it's not like a technical like mess or anything, you know, or it's not like it's like broke. But it's just like was one of those games. It just so much frustration and like anger at the stupidest little things from it. As you're going through those puzzles, like trying to like, and then just getting like the nut tap, like, oh, I finally beat the hard thing, you know, like I've gotten past that difficult challenge, and then oh wait, there's a little nut tap at the end, and I got to do it all over again, you know.
That's amazing.
Oh man. Oh god.
Well, my worst game of the year. It was kind of hard because I was like. I usually like, you know, we request games that we want to play. I don't really have time like Justin has to request a bunch of crap. But I saw this game and then I remember, oh yeah, this is I went ugh, and that is a little game called Hello Neighbor.
Oh yeah. That's that's a good candidate.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things is the port on Switch is just awful. And no, I'm not taking... You can see a nice video of me playing this on Nintendo World Report somewhere. That whole experience was... sitting there playing with like my neck cranked up at the TV, not with no audio, not knowing what to do.
Oh, yeah, that
and
was...
no one telling me what to do.
Yeah, like the representative...
Casey standing... Casey, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Just running around the town. Anyway, the game is just not good. It is the most overrated game I've ever heard of. It's just
Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek might actually be worse.
Yeah, and when you said that, and how those games are both retail games, and how that game costs $40.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see like plushes of that game in stores and stuff. It's so
that
weird.
happened.
I feel like Tiny Build bought into it because they saw the potential for merchandising, because the neighbor is kind of distinctive looking and weird.
Oh no, hold on. And that's what's so stupid about it is exactly. I love the name. I love the concept. I love the characterization. I love the artwork for the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I do love all that, but it's just in practice. It's just this feels like a prototype from a college student.
Yeah.
You know, that he made like for a weekend project. It's crazy.
I think Hide and Seek is worse because it's a lot of the same assets, but then you get into because it's supposedly a prequel, and I guess that's the hook to care about how he got to be the way he is and stuff like that. But you're the daughter trying to hide from the son, and it's sort of like the first one that you're not really sure what you're supposed to be doing a lot of the time. I think Hide and Seek made it worse because you're supposed to hide and seek, but you really aren't. You're supposed to do whatever it is that you're supposed to randomly do to get away from the brother, but you don't know what that is. So you're really not playing hide and seek. You're randomly trying to figure out what mechanically
it's just a mess.
Because I experimented. I was like, okay, what if I make a wall? Like, maybe this is AI and you can sort of trick it. But no, unless you do whatever it is you're supposed to do at the beginning, he won't even move. So like to basically get out of the very first to get out of the gate at the very beginning. I couldn't. It took me a half hour to figure out what I was supposed to do to even get the game going.
Hey, that sounds like something.
It was just
that sounds familiar to me somehow.
And it was because I couldn't figure out how to open the door because the mechanics that are kind of clumsy, and I'd tried like 3 doors that didn't work. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to stay in this area and do something. Well, that was a big waste of time.
Yeah, just wandering.
Yeah.
It was just, what a mess.
Well, those are our nominees. So we have Deep Ones, we have Ascension, and we have Hello Neighbor.
I'll go with Hello Neighbor.
Yeah, I'll go with the Hello Neighbor too.
The price is high. The price is, at least Deep Ones is cheap.
Price is high. Port is
at least
crap.
Deep Ones is,
Gameplay is crap.
Yeah.
Boosh. All right, cool. Now,
so we got our first Jimmy, baby.
First Jimmy.
And the Jimmy goes to...
And the Jimmy goes to...
Hello Neighbor! Woo!
Yeah. Sorry, Tiny Build. I like a lot of your stuff, but yeah, that game stinks.
Yeah, and your booth at PAX was fantastic. Yep. And your representative was super nice.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah. You're right. I do like a lot of Tiny Build stuff. Now, next up, though, for the next Jimmy, we have the worst game icon. Now, this, to me, I don't know if I've ever really talked about this on the podcast. I'm sure there's a lot of people going, who cares about the game icon?
Twitter does.
I know. But the thing is, and it's like the people that say don't judge a book by its cover, right? I mean, that's just a known thing. But the reality of all situations are, I have to judge a book by its cover because that shows me, what that game is about. That's what it is. So, as a somewhat graphic of it, having a graphic designer background, this is important. And it should be important to people, and it shows how much effort they put into stuff. So, I thought this would be a great category. And I'm wondering, I just imagine Justin looking at his Switch and looking through his hundreds of icons.
I can look at. Well, actually, I cheated. I looked at my desktop background I made of like 500 game icons. So I just was like, okay, which one of these looks like crap? All right, well that one wins.
So which one is it?
For me, it was North. Which to
not
describe
bad
it,
North,
because it's a terrible. No. Since North is a terrible game that I don't think anybody got, and you shouldn't because it's awful. Also by sometimes you, strange coincidence. So
I see it.
To put the picture in your head, imagine the word North in all caps in a completely unremarkable font. So I'm already offended because I appreciate good font work, and it's just a generic sans serif font that. So all caps, white on like a slightly gradient background. That's it. Like,
yeah.
So
bad.
if you're going to go with the font, at least interest me with the font. Do something. But yeah, it's just no effort, no nothing, just awful.
Gotcha.
Well, what do you got? What do you got, Pert?
I have a little game that just released not too long ago called Battle Princess Madeline.
Yeah.
And if you would see this, it is just awful. It's like a white background, and it doesn't help that that the Battle Princess Madeline the logo is super bad already.
Yeah,
but,
so this is like
anyway,
combining it.
The icon is just terrible, and it just looks like they took a piece of one of their assets and put it on there and submitted it at last second because they forgot that they had to make an icon.
Yeah, oh crap.
And am I seeing this right? Is this game physical?
Yeah, I thought
this game is physical. I had no
idea
that this was physical. Interesting. All right, but yeah, that's mine. What about you, Case?
All right, so this one, again, I sort of just was looking through the games I had on my Switch, to see what was ugly or what just was bleh, and going through, I didn't see any that I was just like truly like revolted. Like, God.
Most of them do a really good job. But
I did pick Bravely Default Octopath Traveler, and this is
what?
it just says Octopath Traveler, and it's just like black and white white text on a black background, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like, it's clear, like, you can see, you know what I mean? You can see what it is, of course. It's not like, because I feel like there's been some where it's like, you could look at it and be like, I don't even know what game that is, you know? But yeah, it's just a black background with Octopath Traveler.
Oh, I see it. I gotcha.
So, it's not like...
Yeah, what a shame, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that one of the most gorgeous games, literally, of all time.
Exactly, that's what I was
like,
going to say. It wasn't so much that it's like a horrible one on its own, but it's the fact that, like, what is, like, the most redeeming feature from Octopath Traveler? It's like, oh, the brilliant, like, 2D, whatever they called it, HD pixel art or whatever it is, you know?
And, like...
And it's like, and then they just go boring.
I'm looking at, like, an icon right now that is, like, the box art, and it looks amazing, and it's like, why wasn't that the? I mean, it's a square. Why wasn't that the icon? You know?
Like I said, it wasn't so much that it's like the worst thing, but it's like, yeah, well, the potential was there, you know, like, but they got lazy or you know whatever they did, but yeah.
Yep.
So
it's weird. Well, those are our 3. So what do we think?
I don't know. What are you guys voting?
I'd say with the high dollar value, that sounds like Octopath wins because. Again, I mean, you know, North is a garbage game for like $5, so but yeah, Octopath is a serious high value dollar game by a major publisher.
I like it.
You got to put some
and
pride
the
in
Jimmy goes to Octopath Traveler. Wonderful. All right, now that brings us to our last Jimmy, which is the biggest disappointment, which I was like trying to think, now what's the difference between worst game and biggest disappointment? And then I saw the game.
Oh, there's a difference.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
That's the one.
Speaking of painful games to review, I'm just going to go ahead with mine since you guys, you know. I picked Morphe's Law. This game I was really looking forward to, right? I mean, especially on our podcast. I mean, you know, they built it up, which, by the way, that game just...
Yeah, because it looked like the concept seemed really cool.
It looks amazing. It looks awesome. The concept is fun on paper, you know. But then, you know, the idea that you're stealing mass from people and, I guess, you know, and making your thighs bigger. Huh? Still got chicken thighs on the back.
Chicken thighs bigger.
Pervert. No, you know, but then I just remember playing it, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then it's like... I am like really not having any fun at all when I played this game. Like I am like not having fun. It was weird. It's like I enjoy the music, but like the gameplay, I don't feel like when I'm shooting people that it feels good, and it just didn't feel good. So that's why I nominate as biggest disappointment because I was very, you know, kind of the opposite of surprise of the year, right?
Yeah,
the biggest disappointment of the year. So that's mine. What about you, Case?
All right, well, this is going to sound familiar. I'm going with Octopath Traveler.
Oh!
As my biggest disappointed. Now, you know, I had high hopes. Obviously, I feel like many people did. You see this game and you're thinking, wow, it looks beautiful. It's like a nice throwback.
It's a classic RPG.
Yep, you got your beautiful, you know, turn-based combat, you know, right up my alley, sort of are harkening back to the old Super Nintendo RPG days, you know, like, boom, let's go, you know. Then I pick the game up, you know, and I start playing, and it's, like, essentially how it sort of operates is it's like you pick a character, you do their little story, you pick another character, you do their little story, until you get to the point you get 4 people in your party, and it's like, all right, well, now I gotta alternate, so now your levels are staggering, you know, because there isn't, like, an XP share or anything like that. And I unlocked all the first characters, and then it's like, okay, now I can go to Chapter 2, and they're a little segmented, like, hey, you could go do this one, but, like, that level requirement's a little higher, so, like, maybe you should start with the, you know, Chapter 2, the lowest level, and you go do that, and it's like, oh, well, I need to grab this guy, but he's, like, a bunch of levels behind all my other characters, and all my other characters are already getting stomped. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, I need to go grind and level up these guys. And I love RPGs. I don't mind a grind. You know what I mean? Like you got to do it sometimes, and I don't mind grinding. But this was literally like, okay, I grinded. I went, I did that chapter, Then I went to the next one. I needed to switch out parties members again, and then it was like, all right, well, now I got to go back to grinding to make sure this guy is up to snuff, as well as my teammates, my other guys who I've been playing with, are still like a little too weak, you know. So it's just like, and then I think there's 4 chapters for each character, and I'm like, I'm grinding in the beginning of chapter 2. I was like, I can't do it. Like, nah, like this game is cool, but it is not worth all of this grinding.
Right. That's a shame.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep. What about you, Justin?
Mine's one that that you'd mentioned for the worst icon. My biggest disappointment was Battle Princess Madeline. I really love the old school Super Ghouls and Ghosts. And even I played the beta of the Kickstarter demo of Battle Princess Madeline, and I was worried at the time that it might be a little too derivative of that style. Like, it felt perhaps a little bit too much like Super Ghouls and Ghosts. But then the final product, if anything, its worst failing, I'd say, is that they got too far away from that formula. Like, it's just like the story mode is just too spread out. And then the arcade mode is okay, but I mean, the biggest problem, I think they missed what made Super Ghouls and Ghosts interesting. Even though it was brutally hard, like, there were opportunities for power-ups and stuff that were kind of random because they weren't a guarantee. But you would get these power-ups and it would be fun, and you'd have a good run.
Yeah, it changes up the gameplay a lot.
And Battle Princess Madeline, it's so freaking stingy. Like, once you lose your armor, you barely ever get it back, or it takes forever to get it. And it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you making this so tedious? Like, you know, you're using the same weapon almost the whole time, or you know, it just takes too much time and too much effort to get to the point where you get something to change things up. And it's like, you know, did we play the same? You know, you guys, captured the spirit of the way the art looked, and there's certain pieces that are reminiscent of that.
A little corners on the art too, at some areas, but it's really pretty. But yeah,
but they missed the boat for what made it fun. I mean, it's just not a fun game, and that's such a bummer, because it's like, it has everything going for it. Like, you know, the story behind it, all those things are awesome, and I wanted to love the game. And it was just like, once I played it was such a bummer.
Yeah, it should be the Jimmies theme.
Totally. I already have that on standby, so. Gotcha. Well, I would say, from my point, Octopath Traveler would fit that, because I'm kind of in the same boat. I played Battle Princess Madeline. I liked it, actually. I mean, a little more than I think you liked it, Justin. I mean, I completely understand everything that you're saying too. But see, the thing is it really resonated with me with Octopath Traveler, because I didn't pick it up because basically of what Casey told me.
Them grinds.
You know, just, it's like, oh, well then, you know, so I was just like, this is not the game for me, even though this looks amazing. Like, really a cool, pretty game. But, so I would also nominate Octopath Traveler.
No, that's fine with me, because, again, it's the more expensive the game, the greater sort of the multiplier of the disappointment. So, yeah, makes sense.
So the Jimmy goes to Octopath Traveler.
Octopath cleaning up.
That's really funny.
Yeah, not in the way they want to.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even think about that before. But now we're done with the Jimmies. That was a good Jimmies. The 2018 Jimmy
Jimmies,
Awards.
baby.
The Jimmies. Now we can get to the good stuff. So let's go with surprise of the year.
Well, how about we do our individual ones? Then we could go to the surprise, and then we'll go game.
Well, I thought those were that would be the big ones.
But yeah, well, yeah, okay, that works too.
All right, I don't care. You pick. I don't care.
I'm punting.
Casey, you pick.
Nope, I punted it.
All right, then let's do surprise of the year.
Alrighty.
So, this one is the game that is the opposite of a disappointment, which we came out of nowhere and it's like, oh, this game is freaking sweet. And that's what hopefully would have happened with these games. And why don't we start with Justin?
See, this is one where I started. You know, it's hard for me to be negative about indies. So coming up with only one felt appropriate. Trying to limit to what, like, I had quite a lot that surprised me. So I cheated. I created a mini indie list, and I'll just mention the names because I gave 5 of them. But all of them were games that I basically had never heard of until the week of release. Either I reached out for them just on a whim, or I got a press piece that just had some screenshots, and I was like, I'll give it a try, but hadn't heard anything. So these were all ones that were just a pleasant surprise. Ninja Clash of Carrots, The Adventures of Elena Temple, Joe Deaver's Lone Wolf, Stardust Galaxy Warriors, and The Bug Butcher. Like, had never heard anything about any of them, and all of them turned out to be, really good games.
Totally. Good. Yeah, Elena Temple's awesome. Those are cool.
Boom.
I like it.
What do you got, Perry?
Well, this one was, kind of the same thing. It just kind of came out and reached out for a code because it kind of looked cool, and I got it, and I was like, oh my goodness, and I was hooked, and I couldn't stop playing it until I beat it. And that was Kiro Blaster.
Yeah.
This game that, by all means, the visuals are awesome. The music is so good. So cool and so good. This is from the same guy as Cave Story. Mm-hmm. Same people. Yep. I think it's one guy, right? I don't know. But it's cool because it's even like it just plays like an NES game. And it looks like an NES game, and it's so simple and it's so fun, and the upgrades are fun, and it just caught me off guard. I was just like, wow. And I just remember sitting in my bathrobe on my couch in the morning, and I just didn't stop playing. And it took like 4 hours, and I just better eat lunch.
I'm hungry.
So I was done, but Kiro Blaster, amazing game.
Alrighty.
What about you, Case?
So my surprise of the year.
Surprise of the year.
I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler for my top 5. This is not my top 5, but it was close.
See, that's why, Kiro Blaster was exactly. So
this was a fringe pick here for my top 5 of the year, but it didn't make it. So, and I've talked about this game a whole bunch because it's really cool. That is Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man.
That's another good one.
This game.
That's another good game.
This game.
It'll never leave, man. It's woo.
It's so good. Awesome. Yeah, I am waiting for a sale. I will get this game just because of you, Cassie.
Well, you could probably just log into my account.
Can you? No, you can't.
Yeah, there's online play.
Yeah.
What?
Yep, as online
Why
play.
haven't you told me that, Casey?
I feel like I definitely talked
you
about
big gym
it.
bot? Oh, man.
But
no, you didn't. You did not talk about online play.
I'm pretty sure. Because I only did it
maybe you did.
I only jumped in like a few times because like playing with a random I got disconnected and stuff. But
oh man, well then let's do it.
Well, first off, we could totally play it at PAX. But I was gonna say you could also download whatchamacallit. You could just download it on my account to try it at least.
Oh
if
yeah,
you wanted.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
I forgot. That's right. Cool. Well, I'm so glad that Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2 got mentioned on my podcast yet again.
I was going to say, yeah.
That makes me happy.
It'll keep going.
Makes me happy.
Next year when we look back, I'll be like, remember Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2? Well, we got Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 3, baby.
Heck yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and now we're moving on to our best. These are the best awards.
The individuals, yes.
What would you call these? If not the Jimmies, these are the anti-Jimmies.
The Perts.
The Perts. the
Hank Hill.
Yeah. The propane. Yeah, the Strickland propane. Game of the year.
No, hold on. What's the thing from the Rainbow Blazer?
Oh yeah, the
Rainbow Blazer.
Yeah, when he's inducted into the hall, right?
The Hall of Flame. Okay, there we go. This is the Hall of Flame. There we go.
Taste the meat, not the heat.
Yep. I love when that druggie works there.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
man.
Welcome to Hell Stricken Propane. Taste the heat, not the meat.
Yeah. Boo!
No. I am so sorry. It is not. It is taste the meat, not the heat. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna lose your business.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, the Hall of Flame. Here we go. So first up, we have Best RPG from the one and only Casey Gibbons.
Yes, Best RPG.
He's our RPG guy.
This was a no-brainer. Do you have any guess what game I'm gonna go with here?
I'm gonna guess that you picked the Lacrimosa.
Yes, Ease 8, baby.
Oh, there
RPG
you go.
of the year. Give it
You
the
really like that
propane
game.
flame.
Hall of Flame.
Woo!
Flame of Honor.
Yes, it deserves it.
Awesome. Yeah, nothing but praise for that game. And the funny thing is, like, your appreciation for that game definitely grew over time too.
Oh, for sure. And like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like I really enjoyed it when I was playing it, but then like that was one a month or so later, I was just like, man, like that game was awesome. Like I really enjoyed it.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt with Kiro Blaster too. I mean, with a lot of games, but yeah, when you think back, it's like, oh man.
Yeah, you realize just how good she was.
Cool. The Hall of Flame is going to continue with Best Platformer
from
and this one is a tough one, honestly. Because you got to measure, because platformer is usually one of the genres for it's usually a platformer puzzler, platformer shooter, you know what I mean? But I felt this one actually was the best, and it didn't make it on my top 5. But honestly, I feel like it's phenomenal and as a platformer, and I picked none other than The Messenger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, especially the platforming part, because I beat the first half like a lot of people I think did, because it's so amazing. Got to the second and then basically stopped just because it just wasn't. It's not that it was bad. It's just that it wasn't gelling with it as much. And I was planning on going back, just never did. But the first half of that game is unbelievably awesome. It's like Ninja Gaiden, how you think you remember it, mixed in with like, I don't know, Shovel Knight.
Yeah, no, it really is a very good game.
It's really good. It's really awesome, and I think it's worthy. I would be, Justin, do you have any other ideas for a better platformer?
No, probably Messenger would have been my top platformer if I was to pick. Yeah, it's just excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's a top tier game.
Well, now that brings our last Hall of Flamer to, we got to call them the Hall of Flamers, by the way. The best Nindie, and none other than the Ninder sect himself, Justin Nation. We have nominated him to pick the best Nindie of 2018, which could be one of these, by the way. Just because you win one award. Well, Octopath Traveler showed us that.
Yeah, you can win them all.
Double Jimmy.
The double Jim, yeah.
Yeah, mine, it's, I did the top 100 and I had a top 10 within that. And normally I'm very reluctant to sort of pick favorites. But to me, hands down, Dead Cells it was just incredible. Like, Dead Cells is just so good that for it, to me, by a pretty wide margin, it took everything. I mean, just Dead Cells is just awesome.
Man after my own heart, Justin. That's a great pick. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 game, and I believe you gave it a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is weird, because since it's pretty hard. Normally, I would hold back, and say, it's not quite as mainstream, because I try to take that into account. But yeah, Dead Cells is worth getting better to play. It is.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not too hard. I wouldn't say it's too hard. I would just say it's super hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it takes getting used to. I think is a better way. Like, once you get used to it, then it's not as intimidating. And the fact that you can be effective with so many different loadouts with your primary and backup weapon. You can go with a shield. You can go. I mean, I had an effective build that had two different bows. I mean, it has so much versatility, and you can make it work for you depending on how you like to play. You can set up your traps and run like a coward. That's an effective strategy.
Heck yeah.
Or you can try to duke it out. You can be good at parrying and doing some of that stuff. Blocking
I never
with the shield.
ever was.
Yeah, that's
I never got good at the
He
shield.
was never good
Yeah,
at being
it's
parried.
I was like, this is a really awesome gold shield that's like super powerful. Still don't know the appeal of this thing, but I'd like to figure that out. Parry, don't parry.
Parry
It is, and the thing is, I liked it a lot when it was on early access on PC, but the final version, they made the key changes they had to make it that much better. And
It's a masterpiece.
And on Switch, the fact that you can play it anywhere, that is an awesome
Masterpiece. Yep. Well, that brings us to our top 5.
Top 5, baby.
Of the year. So we will start with our 5th, obviously working to, well, no, let's work from our 1 down to 5. Just kidding. So top 5, and I think once we get this started, we should go in order, right?
Yeah, I think 5, 5, 5.
So
5.
who wants to go first?
I'll kick it off.
All right.
I'll kick it off because my number 5 game of the year for 2018 is a 3DS game. And that is Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology.
Oh, wow.
What is this 3DS that you speak of?
What's a 3DS? That's my question.
Yeah, so Radiant Historia, which is funny.
I don't even remember you talking about this game.
I definitely, you know what, this was one that David and I played, and Neil, we all played it together. We did a
That's
mage,
right.
so maybe I brushed over it a little bit here.
That's what it was. I think that's what it was. Yep.
But yeah, so this is
Wow, top 5?
a re-release of the DS game of Radiant Historia. And it was one that I'd always heard so many good things about, and it was on my, all right, I gotta play it list. And I actually bought it for DS and just still never got around to playing it. But ended up playing it on the... Jimmy. Well, you know what it was? It was Square had one of those everything's on sale, and I remember I bought $100 worth of DS games. But it was it's really fun. The combat's fun, and what's cool is there's a bunch of jumping around time and seeing how things play out differently and how you sort of affect what moves forward within the story. And it's just a compelling story with some interesting characters that, in the beginning you sort of feel like you got to feel a little bit on some of the characters, and then, by the end things have changed along the way. And it was just a really fun game to get into, and I had fun with it.
Cool. I believe I'm going to go next.
Then go.
And my number 5 is none other than Miles and Kilo.
Woo! That one was...
Yes.
Sorry, a quick aside. I feel like I listed all my games, and then I grabbed games that could make the cut, they were pretty much 15 games that I was like, these are within the conversation, and
it's hard.
And I had
man.
Miles
I know.
and Kilo in that combo as well.
Yep, it's so good. I love this game. It's gorgeous. The art style is fantastic. The gameplay is just so smooth. I just got back into playing it because I did that feature for the games you can play with the NES Joy-Con. And it's just so fun and it's so cool, and I love that game. And that's another game where, just like Carol Blaster, that I just couldn't stop until you got to get an S rank on every single level, and it was so much fun. It was short and sweet and delicious.
Yeah, there's something to say about a game that just it might be short, but it's the perfect length,
Exactly. It didn't overstay its welcome. In fact, I would welcome a sequel. That would be sweet,
Yeah, but then since they built with Kid Trip to add the dog with...
Yeah.
They need to add a third element now, and then a third style. So you've got platforming, endless runner, and maybe shooting, or
shooting's part of it already. To be honest,
well, you don't want
I'm saying
to
add a formal third element. Add a formal third element.
RPG.
Yeah,
But yeah, I love Miles and Kilo. But we should actually get going because we could take forever talking about because we got 15 more games to talk about. So, Justin, what's your number 5?
And I was going to say, just since I played almost 500 games, getting it down to 5, I had to pick 1% of the games I played. That's challenging. But I went. So I went with a widespread. These may not be my top 5. These are 5 out of my top 10, but I felt like they were diverse. That's why I picked these. But Yoku's Island Express is the 5th one I have.
All right.
Because
interesting. I forgot that you were so big on that game.
Yeah. Well, and I got to play it at PAX. Loved it. I mean, I'm a huge pinball fan. Love pinball. Love.
Oh, that's right.
Pinball FX3.
Right. This is the Destination game.
Yeah. A Metroidvania adventure that involves pinball mechanics. I'm there, and it's super cute.
Really
and
neat.
It is a bit frustrating in places, and I could see where some people just it won't gel
when you get stuck in the pinball areas.
Yep.
And it's just like I didn't even mean to fall in here, and But
I really value creativity a lot, and doing things that are different. So that's why it for me was on the top list, because I love ambitious games that you want to do something different.
For sure, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's a great pick. But that brings us to our number 4.
Number 4s.
Which we're back to Casey. Number 4.
Number 4. It's a game I played recently, and that is it is a sequel as well. It is Guacamelee 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Now,
good choice.
Again, Guacamelee was one of those games I got in like the Humble Bundle or whatever, and I just fell in love with it. It's a great Guacamelee 2 has always been on my radar.
That's the only Metroidvania in the case.
Yeah, just about. And it's amazing. It is so good, and it's amazing art direction, which is another category.
Smooth gameplay, satisfying gameplay.
Yeah, it's everything about it. It's fun. It's got great platforming. It's got beat 'em up sections with combos. You've got skills that you can increase, your power, as well as how many coins you get for combos, and it's got a lot of fun things to play with, and it's just.
You can beat people up as a chicken.
Exactly, yeah. You could kick the crap out of people as
chicken
tiny
thighs.
Little, yeah, chicken you thighs. Got 2 chicken thighs. But yeah, no, this game is really, really good. And I think,
totally.
I don't. Normally, it's like, oh well, if you're a fan, of the genre. Even if you're not a fan, like I'd recommend at least looking into
Anybody should enjoy
because, like I said, I don't generally like them, and this game is great. It's not too long, so it's got a nice. Brisk pace to it, but it's not going to be over in an hour or 2 either. So, yeah, Guacamelee 2.
And it works really well in co-op. Because I played it co-op at PAX, and since it's screen based. No, it was just some random folks because I didn't have an appointment for that, so I stopped by. But yeah, since it's screen based, it's really just a race to see who can finish the screen first, and once somebody finishes it, it pulls everybody else along. So even if you're playing with less experienced, less good play, so even if it's not competitive, you can play with other people that could still enjoy it because you all get to team up on the boss fights and the fighting. So yeah, it's a ton of fun to play with other people.
Gotcha. So I have to apologize. Yeah, we totally skipped over our categories.
Yeah, we
for best art direction.
You finish your 4, and then we'll bring that one into the fray.
Okay, sounds good. My number 4 was none other than a little game that some people know about called Fortnite.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Bringing that free-to-play stuff to the top 5.
Yeah, and this is a game that I was looking through. This game kind of elevated to a level where it wasn't. I wasn't even thinking about it as one of the games I've played this year. It was like something else besides Switch. It was a different activity. But man, this game, I think I put. I'd have to look, but I mean,
a lot of hours.
Probably 150 hours into it. I think something like that. We had a lot. We had so much time, and a lot of that is just playing, with friends, which is so much, which is. They did so well, they did the voice chat, playing the mechanism for getting together with friends is awesome. It's better than Nintendo has ever done, and which is ridiculous. So, but anywho, Fortnite, it's a good game. Haven't played it for a long time, but it's a good game.
Sweet. Right. Now, top 5 intermission, best art direction.
Well, did we get Justin's?
No, we can get back to
yeah.
But we can.
Well, pardon me. You give us your 4, and then we'll give it a clean break.
Okay, my 4 was another one that I played at PAX for the first time that I fell in love with. Pool Panic.
All right.
Yeah. I just played that this week. I forgot to talk about that game.
Another weirdo, off-kilter, just strange game that sort of defied description. You're sort of a cue ball, and there are, I think there's over 100 different levels of, different types of puzzle mechanics, different styles of play on different levels. I mean, the thing that amazed me when I played the demo at PAX, when I was talking to the developers, was, I'd see, a sequence where you're riding on the back of your moped and you're against a biker gang, and you have to knock them off their bikes. And I was telling them, I was like, are there other levels like this? No, that's the only one. You guys had ideas that you implement. You've got 100 levels. You had ideas that you implemented for a single level. And it's just like, that
Very
is
cool.
That is some dedication.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird and all kinds of different stuff. And then the multiplayer has some funky modes that are also a lot of fun. So, yeah, just love that game.
Awesome. Good pick.
Sweet.
Well, let's go back to our best art direction award. And I guess I'll start it off, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure is.
And I'm going to pick Owlboy.
Okay.
One of the prettiest games I've ever seen. So this, like, the pixel art, it is the what would happen to the Super, it's like the next Super Nintendo. Like, if 64 didn't go 3D polygonal, what would what would it look like as an Super Nintendo game? And that's what this is. It's amazing. The animations are phenomenal. And then, and just since it's art direction, I guess we can kind of loop in the music too, because that was such a huge part of it as well. Just an amazing, awesome game. So that was my pick for the 2018. My nomination, I should say.
Oh, are we picking one for this?
Yeah, only one.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm gonna go. There was a couple contenders for this.
Yeah, you can say more. I mean, these are just your personal.
Well, yeah, no,
things,
I mean, like, we could bring Octopath Traveler into a good light. That's a really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yes.
But you've also got like Grease, Gris. I always want to say Grizz, but I know that's not right. But the one I would go with, and I might have tipped my hat when I was giving my number 4 game, is Guacamelee 2. It was just, again, one of those games, like, I always love that sort of Day of the Dead, sort of like the skulls and that kind of look and feel. So it might be a little right in my alley. That sort of gives it a boost, But aside from that, really wonderful graphics. You're switching between 2 different worlds, and like you see it's the same area, but like they change up the backgrounds and how things look. So it's like every area has like 2 different art style, or not different art styles, but 2 different looks. And again, if we're looping in the music, really catchy and addicting music. So Guacamelee 2, baby. All
right, Justin.
Yeah, my choice, one you mentioned, Casey. Mine was Grease.
Nice.
Just really the hand-drawn quality of it. And I think the thing that fascinated me most was a lot of the spots where it would start sort of zoomed in, and then it would start zooming out, and you're still doing something, navigating, getting through some of these puzzles, but it pulls out and you see a wider view. Early on you're in that sort of crab-like building or structure. I mean, it's just such a wild art. The artwork's so incredible. And just the use of color, and I was just blown away by that game.
Yeah, that game. And what'd you end up giving that game?
I think it was either a 9. It was either a 9 or a 9.5. I think. It was one of my top 10 for the year.
Yeah. Man, that game got some high praise.
Yeah, 9.5.
Cool.
Yeah. Just and the weird thing, because I'd played Abzu not long before that. These very conceptual kind of games, and it's more of an experience. But the fact that Grease, by comparison, had actual gameplay that was often clever. I mean, I think that really helped propel it higher because it wasn't just an experience. It was actually had some legitimate good puzzle platforming going on as well, and the boss and sort of the boss fight kind of things, pretty cool.
Sweet.
Cool. So I guess it's time for our number 3s then.
Yes, sir. I guess that means it is my turn for number 3. This game, another recent release, and a highly touted release, one might say, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh,
checking in at number 3. Now, for me, I'm really enjoying it. It's, I guess, the one complaint you can be, it's Smash, right? I feel like that's sort of like the go-to. But just because it's similar doesn't mean it ain't great, baby, because it's got so many characters. I'm working my way through Classic. I want to beat Classic mode with every single character. So then that way, it's
Have
like
you unlocked all of them?
Yeah, I unlocked all the characters. And I think I've beaten Classic mode north of 20 characters now. But that means I still have a long way to go. But
fourth of the way there.
Yeah, the modes are fun. I'm having fun with that. Jumping in, playing some online occasionally. But honestly, I found myself more often than not either doing Classic mode or some more World of Light stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's Smash Brothers and it's good, real good.
That's all I have to say, right?
Yep.
It's Smash Brothers and it's good. Does that mean it's my turn then?
Yes, sir. Number 3. What you got?
Number 3. I think this is the first game this year that like I was just addicted to it and I couldn't stop and I, just absolutely loved it to death. And that is Bomb Slinger.
Ooh, all right.
I really enjoyed this game. It was just the mechanics. It's a roguelite game, and the mechanics just really clicked with me. And this is the one that we actually got to play at PAX, which was a lot of fun. I got to show you this game at PAX. That was a good time, Case. Remember when we were in the old apartment, naked, and I showed you the. I mean,
you showed me your chicken thighs.
Strike that from the record. No, but it's everything. I just really loved how. To me, it felt so punishing and so hard, but it's kind of like Dead Cells because you can get better both at skill, but also unlock better equipment and then boost yourself up better. So I really enjoyed this game, and it was so funny because that was the game that had the 2-month-long embargo, and I couldn't talk about it for so long.
You were
and I'd
so
beaten
tempted.
It like 3 weeks after, yeah. But
I want to talk about it. Dang it!
Yeah, dude, we had to wait till it was like I got it like a month before PAX.
Yeah, that was insane.
And then I still couldn't even talk about it until after PAX. Anyway, so
God bless him though. I love those long lead times.
And the thing I liked about it is it sort of showed what the people responsible for Bomberman itself had been getting wrong for so long in the single player. Like
yes,
you can have a meaningful, good single player experience using Bomberman. That was amazing.
And this is coming from a guy that I don't like. I mean, I really, for the most part, don't like Bomberman. Like I'm just not a big fan of it. I wouldn't say I don't like it, but
I get what you mean. You can appreciate what it is, but it's not something you're gonna want to dive into.
And I love this game, so yep. So I'm now I can't wait for Justin's number 3, the bronze.
Yeah, my number 3 went to The Gardens Between.
Ooh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, love Gardens Between. Probably one of the most unusual puzzle games that I've played. At first I was worried that it was not going to get tough enough because initially, the time change mechanic.
Yeah, it's like, how could you get it wrong?
Well, yeah, and
you move back and you go forward and that's it.
And it was very politely sort of getting you used to things, but as the game wore on and got further in, some legitimately really challenging puzzles that you really had to pay attention to every small detail to sort of piece together. Okay, well, when I move time forward and backward, this one particular thing is moving out of place. What do I need to do with that? How do I manipulate that? And it was things like, you could manipulate the rate that the water fell in a certain spot would disrupt something. There was some really creative stuff going on that they got you to the point where you're really comfortable with mechanics, and then they sort of started throwing curveballs at you that they didn't telegraph. So you really were sort of caught at first going, oh crap, this isn't working. I can't find anything. But then, oh, wait a minute. Oh my God. So it was, I like those. And Greece was good at doing that too, where you had these moments, these aha moments that, obviously it's an intended aha moment that they put in place, and yet, it still works, that they found a way to make you feel smart by figuring something out, but that was the whole point. So I like when they're able to do things like that. And just for me, Gardens Between, the whole game was some piece of that for it. And then just the story, and there aren't any words, and yet it's a very relatable story and stuff like that. I really like that.
Cool. Good pick. I just forgot that you're such big on that game as well. That's cool. Yeah. Number 3. Wow. Crazy. Which means we're down to number 2, our silver awards. That's hard to say.
The old silvers?
Yep. So what was your number 2?
Number 2. I wonder if you'll be able to guess this. This is a game I've talked about, obviously. It could have also been up for the Surprise of the Year award. That might give it away.
I was thinking Mario Tennis Aces.
No,
but
no,
that's
no,
definitely not a surprise.
No.
No.
This is Tesla vs. Lovecraft.
Oh
yeah,
my
baby.
goodness!
Yeah, baby. It was in my top 10. Yeah, baby.
And let me tell you, it's just like this game again. This was a game. We got like an extra code or something.
That was they sent us 2 codes, and you're like, oh,
and you gave it to me, and I was like, yeah, okay, and I was like, honestly, the name like Tesla vs. Lovecraft. I was just
stupid
like,
name.
I was just like,
also Jeej.
Yeah, Jeej. Yeah, and I was just like, you know what, it's like I'm just not really interested in playing this game, like whatever. And then one day I was like bored, and I was like, you know what, like, let me try this game, And oh my goodness. I'm so glad I did, because this game is freaking amazing, dude. It is amazing.
You know what it's like? And I'm dead serious. You know what that game reminds me of? And I think why you like it so much?
Let's hear
Doom. Not Doom, sorry. Diablo.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going around blasting people and just like taking care of business.
It is so like Diablo.
Yeah, I can see it.
Did you beat it on Eldritch difficulty?
Probably not.
Wimp.
Honestly though, it would be a game I want to go back and play some more at some point.
Yeah, it's worth beating on the toughest difficulty.
Yeah, what a Jimmy. Remember when you guys were picking on me about Goner like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, it just one that sort of it came out of nowhere for me, and it was just it absolutely grabbed me. And I just wanted to keep on playing, and I felt like it was one of those games when I wasn't playing, and I was like, man, I'd just love to go play some freaking Tesla vs. Lovecraft right now.
Yep, great pick up and play game.
So good.
Like I said, I bring up PAX again, which is so funny. We've talked about PAX so much, but that was my airplane game for sure. So perfect for that.
Yeah,
because it's like something that it's like just enough to keep your attention, but not too in depth, because when you're on a plane, you can't it's hard to concentrate, if you know what I mean. But anyway, wow, I would have absolutely never guessed that. That's amazing. That's amazing, Casey.
Boom.
All right, so my number 2 then. This should come as no surprise to anyone, but my number 2 is Dead Cells.
Boom. I'm surprised at number 1.
Yeah, that was tough choice. Dead Cells, wow. We've already talked about it before, but I would just call it platforming roguelike perfection. I mean, it's just, I could not stop playing it until I beat it. It was just it was crazy. I mean, I remember going to sleep at night and closing the eyelids and seeing jumping around and like the platforming, because it's so fast, and it's yeah. I don't really need to say anything more because I've gushed about it too much. We all have, but Dead Cells, what a game! And it was a surprise to me too, because I didn't, because it was so much hype. And usually when there's tons of hype,
that's sort of,
usually you're kind of let
counteractive.
down because it usually doesn't always gel. But man, did this game gel! And the other thing was, the last thing I'll say is, when we played this at Nintendo's appointment, I did not. It was so hard, and it was weird. I didn't understand. It wasn't the same, but it was like some different air. Because you played that too, right, Justin, at the appointment?
Yeah.
Because I remember you talking about it. But I just remember it wasn't like, it didn't start you at the beginning or anything. It was weird.
Well, I think I almost like you guys talking about the delay on the crash unit. Something. I swear
there was
that there was a delay or something up, because it didn't. Because I'd played. I was expecting it to feel exactly like playing it on PC and stuff, and just something did. And I actually started to worry. I was like, oh man, is the Switch port gonna have an issue? So
that's why I completely took it off my radar. I mean, I was like, I didn't really like it when I played it. So, but then I heard everyone talk about it. It's like, okay, I'll get it. And then I was like, oh my goodness, this game is amazing. So, Dead Cells. Okay, Justin, what's your number 2?
Another one that's already been mentioned, but well deserving. The Messenger.
There you go. Yeah, totally.
Just love that. I mean, and for
Beautiful
me,
game.
Probably one of the best things in the game that I love the freaking shopkeeper, man.
Yes. No, that is the best part of the game.
Yes.
The shopkeeper is.
Can we talk about that one point now? Can we finally talk about the spoiler thing?
No.
I want to so bad.
Game that you think of all the people that might be like, wow, it's really up there, I'm going to go play it. And then Perry's like, let me just spoil. You interested in that game?
I guess we're never going to be able to discuss this. I mean, we're never going to be able to discuss this, I guess, but okay.
Never. It's all
fine.
Yeah, it's... And I agree that the once it gets to the Metroidvania part, it sort of gets harder to keep interest. But I mean, they could have stopped at the 8-bit era stuff, and I would have been perfectly satisfied. It was just
what an epic game.
That
what
game
a great
was
game.
awesome.
Yep,
awesome. And
not
hard.
perfect, but really good.
And just the bosses at the end of the 8-bit area, just
yes,
so good, but so hard. It was just
Yep, very cool. All right, so we're down to the gold, the number 1.
The
picks.
Primo stuff.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. So, Casey, let me see if I can guess yours.
If you were paying attention throughout all of the awards, you should know.
Guacamelee
Octopath
2.
Traveler.
Is it Guacamelee 2?
I hated it and loved it all the same.
It's both my best and worst game of the year. Well, no, because Guacamelee 2 is number 4.
Yeah, it's numbered. Yeah, he already said
sorry.
that.
Okay.
So it can't be Guacamelee.
He's been busy
you
playing
would
video
do that.
games.
You would do that, though. You'd be like, it's my 4th and my 1st.
Yeah. It deserves 2 spots. Well, now, think about this earlier. When I was giving my RPG of the Year award.
Oh, Ease. It's Ease.
And then I stated an RPG at number 5. Yes, Ease 8 is my game of the year. Again, it's just...
That's what I thought it would be, to be honest. I should have said that.
It's just one of those when you sort of... when I look back, like you said, at all the games we played, and it's like, which one just stands out, in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's Ease. It's like, that game was awesome, dude. And it's...
Easome.
Yeah, it's Easome. But yeah,
wow.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope they bring the next Ease to the Switch, which I feel like they will. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. But yes,
I noticed that Torna wasn't on your list.
Yeah, that was a game
I'm surprised
I really
that was
liked.
on your biggest disappointment.
Well, no, because I enjoyed that still.
Yeah, I know you did.
I think I also took it as like, hey, that was DLC, so like that's an easy not put in my top of my list. But
gotcha.
But yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Wow. Well, the gauntlet has been thrown, and it's Ease. That's honestly Jules, because I told Jules we were recording our thing today, and he's like, "What do you think Casey's is?" And I said Ease. So I should have said that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking at all. So that means my number one. Well, I bet you guys can guess my number one.
Well, I'm just gonna wait and listen to you say it.
You can't, Justin. Do you think you know my number one?
I don't know.
What, Casey? You don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. I don't want to guess it.
I don't want to tip my hand.
Kingdom Two Crowns is my number one.
Duh.
Yeah. This was a really big toss-up between this and Dead Cells. But just the man, what a great time I had with that game. Jill also. Jill, like you said, this is Jill's favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I remember.
And this is up there with me. The time that we played, and it was like we had so much fun playing the first Kingdom. Imagine how much more fun we had when we both could control our own, horse,
infinitely times better.
Yeah, it's like, and then you take the left, I'll take the right, and like come over here, help me, like instead of just like thinking about strategic decisions, suddenly I can actually go do them and tell you, okay, I'm gonna go do this. Okay, you do that. Then we conquer the game, and it's just, it's super hard too, like ridiculously hard, but so much fun, and it just really gelled with. Honestly, all these games, all of my top fives really were games I just couldn't put down. That they just really clicked with me, resonated with me. So, yeah, Kingdom Two Crowns, what a great game. So, that's my number one. Yeah.
Sweet giblets.
And now we're down to Justin's number
now the
one.
nation.
500 games.
What's the game of the nation?
Mine's kind of anticlimactic since I already sort of gave it away. It's Dead Cells.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, my top Nindy. What do you think I'm gonna pick?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's Dead
well, good.
Cells.
I'm glad. I'm happy. We've talked about it a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, it's a good game. It deserves some talking about.
It really is, and we've all played it.
We talked about them, and we talked about them using our own words.
Yeah. Chicken thighs.
Could not resist that dig. What
That's
a douchebag.
Yeah. And the ultimate Jimmy award goes to.
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow. So we got Dead Cells, which is good. I'm glad that's a number one because that was my tide kind of. And Kingdom Two Crowns and E's 9. What is it? 7, 8. E's 8.
Lacrimosa of Donna.
Lacrimosa of Donna.
But it might
name.
be. Yeah, I think it's Donna. Like it's spelled.
I think it has
Dana.
to be Donna. It is spelled Dana, but like you pronounce the A's. You should pronounce them the same. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then again, it's Miles and Kilo.
Yeah.
It should be Miles and Kylo.
Kyle is a Milo.
Yeah. Or Meals and Kilo. Meals.
Pert and
Mills.
Jimmy.
Yep. So, is that all we have for this episode then?
That's it, boys and girls.
I mean, it's a
It's
big
been
hefty.
so short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually with Justin, it's 4 hours.
I mean, this is gonna be a nice,
that's
healthy
before
fight.
we re-record our segment.
I'll say this will probably be a nice, healthy 2.5-er.
Yeah. It's
at least.
Yeah. That was so. I hopefully I don't have to edit any Casey Gibson lines.
Oh, into me, yeah. No,
So
it's
like Fire Emblem Light, right?
never my fault. Just want to point that out.
That was so funny, and I love we got comments from people like, that guy is a jerk.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the episode except for Casey.
Yeah, that guy's what is his problem? He would just rudely interrupt.
Yeah.
That was so funny. That was great. Well, we haven't talked about this, but I guess next week would probably have to be our 2019 predictions.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Hopefully, some of those might be answered with a possible direct, but we will see.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting week, but yeah, and also, which we need to say, next time everyone hears us, we're going to be in San Antonio,
Woo-wee.
and we're going to be podcasting live with each other. That's going to be amazing. So next week is PAX because we're going to South.
I can't believe it, dude.
That's crazy.
Very, very
So,
crazy.
Yeah, I wish Justin was going.
All the chicken thighs you can eat.
Yeah,
I know, baby.
Lathered up in some barbecue.
Ooh.
But yes, I guess just a couple of quick housekeeping as far as PAX goes. We've got panels, Perry, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We got a Smash panel, which is taking place Saturday at, I want to say 4 p.m.?
I sent you the thing.
But it might be 5.
Hold on. I got it right here.
I'm pretty sure it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. It's 4 to 5.
Okay.
Is the Smash panel. And then we have Super Password, and that is Friday night, right? Late.
Friday night, 8:30, I believe.
Boom. Come win
which is
some
going to be
prizes.
amazing. It's going to be amazing. We're going to play, if everyone, Justin, you know the game Super Password?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do that. But with Nintendo. Super Nintendo Password. Get it? It's perfect.
It's
actually
perfect.
It is. Yeah, it's perfect.
That's weird to say. Perfect.
That is weird. But yeah,
yes.
that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely going to be fun. We'll be hanging out, so if anyone's going to be around, definitely come check it out.
Yes.
Before we go, you can find us on Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo.
POD.
And Justin, tell them where they can find the 14 million reviews you do.
It's all Nindy Spotlight. Easiest is to go to Twitter, Nindy Spotlight, but nindyspotlight.com. Yeah, and I've got my top 100 of 2018, and then a top retro games, and I'll have another top. I'm going to start having top lists, ongoing maintained.
You
top
got
lists.
to.
Yeah.
When you play that many
there's
games.
There's finally enough density that they can be more than 5 in a list. So
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, you could probably not even. I mean, are these of 2018 or are they?
The top 100 is 2018 specific, but these other
these
top
are
lists
everything.
that I'll start. Yep, it's just
Cool,
the entire
cool.
lifetime. So yeah, when I get to something like top shooters, that's gonna. I'm trying to figure out whether to cut it off. Probably the lowest I'd cut off at is like 20 of them, because some of these genres you're gonna see.
Oh yeah.
Just ton. I mean, there's a ton of really good shooters, and I don't want to leave any out. So I'll have to see where I cut off. But yeah, it's gonna be an all-encompassing list of the ones that most notable ones I've played, and
awesome.
They'll be roughly ranked. But yeah,
sweet.
You have to do the top 10 10-ton.
Yeah, top 10 10-ton.
Just kidding. And then one more plug. Sorry, we have our telethon coming up. Our I forget what we're calling it again. Our NWR charity. We're not calling telethon because apparently the kids don't know what telethon means.
It's too old.
Yeah. NWR Child's Play games, feel better, live stream for charity.
Yes, and Perry and I will be doing a mystery history with a very special secret guest.
That's right.
We might not even have yet. We will have one.
Might be so secret we don't even know.
It's such
we
a
don't
secret,
even know.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going on. Did we say the date for that?
The 26th of
26th,
January, which
at
is
11:30 a.m. Eastern.
Yep.
All day, baby.
Yeah, we're not going until I believe 9 p.m. Eastern. So if everyone's drinking their beers, getting ready to party, they could play a little mystery history to get them going.
Now, and this is really important for everyone to hear, but there is a swell individual named Pedoxis who they will match the total amount given up to $2,000 donated by noon on January 22nd.
Which is before the telethon.
Yes.
That
so go donate now, and your money will be doubled. So
yeah, it's if you're going
really
to
awesome.
donate. Yeah, if you plan on donating, definitely would be more beneficial. Like you said, to get double bang for your buck beforehand.
Yes.
But if you can't
check
donate,
it all out.
Just come and hang out and spread the word. It's all good,
Yeah, spread the word. That would be, if you can do that, that'd be awesome. You can see all of our info, on our site. It's the main.
Yeah, it'll
tab
be
on
up
our
there
site,
until it is. But
NintendoWorldReport.com.
Boom! There you have it. 2018 in the books officially now. We could put a stamp on it.
Finally.
And yeah, we could start. Like you said, hopefully next week we've got some direct stuff to talk about while we're at PAX. But
I think we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we'll be busy. But yeah, all right. I think that's going to be the end of her.
All right. We'll see you later, Justin. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you, Justin.
No
as always, a pleasure.
Always fun.
Alrighty. Well,
All
we'll
right,
see everyone in San Antonio.
San Antonio, Banderas. It's like Just Shapes and Beats with a little meme run.
Have you guys ever wanted to just put a puzzle together on the go, but then you had problems because you were losing pieces on the bus and stuff?
It's okay. I said 39th. Justin's a perv. We can all be embarrassed.
Smoke a doobie.
I got chicken on my mind, okay? I don't have thighs on my mind.
More bad news.
That's a doobie smoker.
T-Man? Oh. Strickland propane, taste the heat, not the meat.
Lord, no! Hello? Oh, hello, Ms. Shattuck. I want to sincerely apologize. Our slogan is taste the meat, not the heat. I hope our error has not inconvenienced you, and, well, I hope in the future you'll be a customer again.